Coming down to the wire here at the end of the Cape Cod Baseball League season, it's game number 33 for the Falmouth Commodores back home at Gov Fuller Field for their final home matchup against the Wareham Gatemen of the 2025 season. We're opening the door. Ben Haller alongside Ryan Martin and Andrew Della Piana. And Ryan, last night, more of the same for Falmouth. Defensive issues to go with some cold bats.
Yeah, those 3 errors proved to be too much in a 5-2 loss to the Brewster Whitecaps, who now sweep the Falmouth Commodores in the 2025 season. A couple of big issues that you mentioned. The errors were there with 3 errors. You go 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position, and then leave 11 runners on base. So when Brewster did all that damage in the middle innings, Falmouth just couldn't get back on track.
There won't be a sweep of the season series between Falmouth and Wareham. Wareham currently leads the season series 2-1. This one's going to be interesting today with an interesting pitching matchup and the first time on the mound for Torrin O'Haron out of Stanford.
Yeah, he makes his Commodores debut. This will be his second summer on Cape Cod. He was in Whitey last year, but a solid season this past year with the Stanford Cardinal. 22 appearances, that ERA a little bit high, though, in the northern part of the 7 mark. Really good, though, in ACC play. 15 strikeouts, 16 innings of work. He was the Stopper of the Year watch list member halfway through the season, so it's a guy that comes in, pumps a lot of strikes. It's just going to be depending on how long he can go in this one against the All-Star Josh Butler.
Yeah, he faces a red-hot Wareham offense today. A team that, you go back a couple of weeks ago when Falmouth was tied for first in the West Division, Wareham was in 4th place, 2 totally different directions recently for the 2 teams.
Yeah, this is a Gatemen team that's been atop the West Division right now, just as you mentioned, Ben. Winners of 11 of their last 14 games, 34 points, that's the most in the West Division. That 4-point gap between them and second place Bourne, that's the most point differential between any 2 teams in either of the 2 divisions. This is a Wareham team that's hot right now, going against the Commodores team that's lost 8 of its last 10.
Yeah, and the Commodores are trying to work their way out of the basement this evening, alone in last place. First pitch coming up at 6 p.m. between the Commodores and Gatemen on Cape League TV.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just 1 click away.
It's an honor to support the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store, located at 147 T-Ticket Highway, and try a slice today.
You'll always be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at Compass Real Estate.
Hi, I'm Michael Kasparian, President of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is here for the benefit of the whole community. Whether you're a local business or a visitor, Falmouth has endless offerings, from its beautiful beaches and historical sites to its local shopping and eateries. The Chamber bridges the 8 villages, providing visitors with all the tools to make their trip one to remember. Our visitor center is located in downtown Falmouth, just off of Main Street. Come by and meet our team. The Falmouth Chamber of Commerce, your community connection.
I'm Antonio Morales from Norfolk, Massachusetts, and I'd love to get a shout out to my mom, my dad, my sister, and all my supporters.
Welcome back to Opening the Door before first pitch between the Wareham Gatemen and Falmouth Commodores. But Haller alongside Falmouth starting pitcher TJ Coates. Yesterday's starting pitcher, despite the loss though, you yourself with 4 scoreless innings last night. What was working for you?
Just honestly, just trying to get ahead. That was the biggest thing. Start before that, kind of didn't have a great one, so went back, looked, just was getting behind too much. So just tried to establish the fastball early and keep getting ahead.
That's your second start now of the summer after committing to Miami. You were in the transfer portal for much of the summer, coming from Nebraska this past season. What kind of went into that decision? What attracted you to Coral Gables?
So they gave me a call, had me out for a visit, and honestly, it felt perfect ever since I got there. I went, the whole coaching staff just seemed very relaxed, was working with me. That was the biggest thing that I was looking for, was someone to work with me, not against me. So it just felt like it was the perfect fit.
It's a program with a very rich baseball history, also a program taking a step up at conference, Big Ten to ACC now. How excited are you for that kind of challenge in a better conference and a better program in Miami?
Absolutely. I'm pumped for it, really am. So obviously I want to get here, win this league, and then I'm excited to get to school.
This past year at Nebraska, you had more appearances out of relief than you did starts. Here at Falmouth, you've been a starter for 4 or 5 games at this point. Is that something you're trying to do going to Miami and getting more of a starter's role?
I mean, honestly, it's just whatever to help the team win. I mean, they were one win away from going to Omaha, and that's just the goal for this year as well.
TJ, thank you a lot.
Of course.
Back to you, Ryan.
Thanks so much, Ben. Appreciate the new Miami Hurricane right-handed pitcher and TJ Coates speaking with some time pregame before Game 33 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. We're now welcome you into the press box here at Gov Fuller Field alongside Andrew Delapiana. I'm Ryan Martin, getting ready for this one between the Wareham Gatemen and the Falmouth Commodores. Andrew, that clock ticking down in the regular season and two teams going opposite directions in the West Division with Wareham and Falmouth.
Yeah, we mentioned it off the top of this broadcast where Wareham and Falmouth, two completely different directions, where the Gatemen winners 11 out of their last 14 games, as you mentioned. Commodores losers of 8 of their last 10, and the Gatemen are really do so with a lot of offense, especially in the earlier stretch of that winning streak where they won 7 games and really starting to pick things up.
I'll have to see if each streak continues for the struggling Commodores and the surging Wareham Gatemen. But before this one gets started, we send it over to the voice of Gov Fuller Field, the pride of Marist University, and the biggest 99 fan you know, and William Rosen. William?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field for tonight's Cape Cod Baseball League matchup featuring the visiting Wareham Gatemen and your Falmouth Commodores. Tonight is Bat Kids Appreciation Night. The Falmouth Commodores would like to recognize our youngest volunteers tonight as we celebrate our Bat Kids. We would also like to thank the families for making the invaluable commitment in supporting their children and the Falmouth Commodores. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Here to acknowledge them on the field are Bat Kids coach Ken Briggs and manager Jared Saltalamacchia. Let's recognize Rylan Carl. Hudson Sipes. Charlie Floyd. Sebastian Roman. Sam Shivery. Gavin Woods. Grayson Woods. Owen Carl. And Charlie Saltalamacchia. Thank you, Bat Kids, for everything you do on and off the field for the Falmouth Commodores fans. Let's give them a warm thank you and round of applause. And now it's time to meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Wareham Gatemen. The manager of the Gatemen is Ryan Smythe. Leading off for the Gatemen, the second baseman from Ole Miss, number 3, Braden Randall. Batting second, the right fielder from Michigan, number 14, Colby Turner. Batting third, the first baseman from NC State, number 36, Chris McHugh. Batting fourth, the designated hitter from Florida, number 28, Caden McDonald. Batting fifth, the left fielder from Rutgers, number 4, Chase Cruson. Batting sixth, the shortstop from Cal Baptist, number 6, Chris Ramirez. Batting seventh, the center fielder from Florida, number 53, Hayden Yost. Batting eighth, the catcher from FIU, number 7, Aries Rivera. And batting ninth, the third baseman from the University of Miami, number 16, Vance Sheehan. The pitcher this evening for the Gatemen, a right-handed pitcher from Arizona State, number 24, Josh Butler. And now it's time to meet the starting lineup for your Falmouth Commodores. First up, the manager in his first season with Falmouth, World Series champion, Jared Saltalamacchia. Leading off, the right fielder from the University of Maryland, number 2, Antonio Morales. Batting second, the designated hitter from Cal Berkeley, number 8, Carl Schmidt. Batting third, the center fielder from the University of Arkansas, number 3, Micah New. Batting fourth, the first baseman from Georgia Tech, number 10, Kent Schmidt. Batting fifth, the third baseman from Georgia Tech, number 35, Ryan Zuckerman. Batting sixth, the shortstop from the University of Southern California, number 18, Adrian Lopez. Batting seventh, the catcher from the Ohio State University, number 25, Mason Eckelman. Batting eighth, the left fielder from Rutgers, number 36, Tristan Salinas. And batting ninth, the second baseman from the University of Alabama, number 7, Justin Osterhaus. The pitcher this evening for your Falmouth Commodores, a right-handed pitcher from Stanford, number 17, Torin O'Haron. Fans, we ask that if you're able to please rise and remove your hats as we honor America and those who protect our freedom with the singing of our national anthem. Singing tonight is Ava Mastroianni. Ava is a singer-songwriter from Falmouth, Massachusetts. She just graduated from Northeastern University in Boston, where she studied music industry. Ava currently performs locally at Boston venues and has previously sung the national anthem at Fenway Park for the Boston Red Sox with her college a cappella group. Ava also records, produces, and releases her own music under the name Ava Dallas, available on all streaming platforms. Ava, whenever you're ready.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land
Thank you, Ava. And now it's time for tonight's ceremonial first pitch. Throwing out tonight's ceremonial first pitch, representing his teammates of the Falmouth Bet Kids, Gavin Woods. Gavin returns to the Commodores as a rising sixth grader at Morse Pond School. He plays multiple positions for his Falmouth Youth Baseball team and AAU Cape Cod Clippers team. Gavin, whenever you're ready, let's see what you got. There you go, a breaking ball strike. Congratulations, Gavin.
A nice throw by Gavin on Back Kid Appreciation Night during the 2025 season means that we're just moments away now from Wareham versus Falmouth in Game 33 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Commodores back at home for the second straight night. It's a Falmouth team that's 5 games under 500 for the first time all season long. Appreciate you spending your Saturday night with us here on Cape League TV. Alongside Andrew Delapiana, I'm Ryan Martin back here again for this one. And as we were just talking about, it's a Wareham team that's surging. Winners of 11 of its last 14 versus a Falmouth team that struggled really as of late, losing 8 of its last 10. This is a spot where both teams can afford to pick up 2 big points. It's Wareham looking to add on to its West Division, leading 34 points.
And when we came on the air today, we talked about the importance of this game tonight as we get to the final stretch of this regular season. Kind of feels like a point, Ryan, where Falmouth's really going to decide what kind of season it's going to have. Is it going to kind of continue to plummet and find themselves in the basement of this division, or are they going to rally and defeat one of the hottest teams on Cape Cod right now? They go do a new arm for the first time this summer to kind of flip the script a little bit defensively.
It's a Wareham Gatemen team, 251 average on the summer, is 4th best on Cape Cod. 32 homers leads all 10 Cape Cod Baseball League teams. And second place in that is the Commodores with 23. Big margin there for the Wareham Gatemen. You mentioned they're surging. You see those 2 all-stars in the lineup with Colby Turner and Chase Cruson. For Wareham, that looks to get out quickly to the first appearance on Cape Cod in 2025 for Torrent O'Haron, the rising senior at Stanford. Take a look at his stats from last season when he was with the YD Red Sox.
And that 9.53 ERA does not jump out at the screen at you like, most players expect you to when you come to Cape Cod to improve on those numbers, because he was pretty solid after his sophomore year at Stanford, just north of a 5 ERA. That upticked a little bit this spring as well to a 2.77, but still someone who can come in the back end of games and throw a whole lot of strikes. He was really good in ACC play with 16 Ks in 16 innings of work, but now Jared Saltalamacchia electing to use him out of a starter role. And you got to wonder if he's more so of a guy that'll only see about 2 or 3 innings before you dive into that Falmouth bullpen.
Yeah, you're exactly right, with O'Haron being a well-used reliever. He's got 63 games across 3 springs with the Cardinal, just 2 collegiate starts. One his freshman year, one his sophomore year, and none this past spring. Pretty nice weather here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Can't ask for much more on a Saturday night. 78, but a nice breeze brings that down to a 76 real feel for first pitch. Just about to get this one going. And fans continue to trickle in here from Gov Fuller Field. We'll introduce your umpiring crew today. Behind home plate, calling the balls and strikes is Jeffrey Merzell. At third base is Matthew Kane. And at first base is Jake Brickta.
Much nicer night tonight than we got last night. It was very muggy after the rain. That baseball was not flying out of the air a whole lot, but much cooler night tonight. Wind blowing in from center field.
I'm just happy this was back to a traditional 6 p.m. first pitch from Gov Fuller
absolutely.
Field. Last night, again, the rain came in quickly at, 4 or 5 p.m. What turned into a beautiful Friday at the beach, whether it was Old Silver Beach up north or the Heights Beach just down the road. Quickly the rain came in for the latest start time in Falmouth this season, 7 p.m. start time, in that 5-2 loss to Brewster. First to face O'Haron is the second baseman, Braden Randall. O'Haron's first pitch is tipped off the bat by Braden Randall. First pitch at exactly 6 p.m. here at Gov Fuller Field. Randall, a rising junior at Ole Miss. Originally from Rockwall, Texas, and this is a spot he is the utmost comfortable in when he's at second base and leading off. He's done so for Ryan Smythe in each of the last 4 games, and he's done it against the 3 games that Falmouth's played against Wareham so far this summer. Trying to follow up an 0 for 4 day with a strikeout yesterday in the loss to Katuitt. And that was a game in which Wareham just struggled overall, Andrew. 2-1 loss to the Kettleers, in which the Gatemen only can find 2 hits and 1 walk earned.
And you give a lot of credit, too, to Katuitt's start and Peyton Manka from Florida State, who has been phenomenal this entire summer. Really shutting down one of the hottest offenses on Cape Cod. Just 2 hits.
That was the first time we saw a Katuitt-Kettleer pitcher start the game and work into the 6th inning in an appearance. It's been a bit of a quicker trigger for first-year manager and Lauren Hibbs. But Manka earned it in his best start on Cape Cod. It's exactly what we're seeing again here out of Torin O'Haron, and a rising senior at Stanford. Righty works from the first base side of the rubber and gets into a 1-2 count on the leadoff man, Braden Randall. O'Haron's 1-2 to the first batter he faces. He's nubbed that right back his way. He'll go for the jog and give it about the lightest underhand toss you can to first base. That's where Ken Schmidt plays today and brings in out number 1. I mentioned Schmidt, the West Division All-Star Game starter at first base a week ago. He's there at first base. There's the rest of the defense for the Commodores in game 33.
Tristan Salinas making a return to the lineup out in left field. Feels like we haven't seen him in quite a bit. Also, as well as Mason Eckelman behind home plate.
2 of the newest Commodores. Eckelman was activated just last week with Caden Brumbaugh, who started the last 3 games in left field. Now it's a day off for the Oklahoma Sooner, and Salinas takes over his spot in the outfield. First pitch outside from O'Haron to Colby Turner, rising junior at Michigan. Turner came in as a reserve for the West Division during the All-Star Game, which now feels like a week ago. Can't tell if that was quick or feels like ages ago, especially for this Commodores team that's seen some ups and downs since then. The win against Harwich right out of the All-Star break this past Monday. And since then, it has been 3 straight losses. So again, we mentioned Andrew O'Haron was a YD Red Sox last summer. Now in his first appearance with Falmouth and first start since spring 2024 when he was at Stanford. What are you looking out of him? What could be a quicker appearance?
I think he just does a good job of attacking the zone early. We even saw it in that first plate appearance from Braden Randall. That's the big thing with the Commodores, is producing those early outs.
Rockland, California native and righty was great this past spring as he earned strike 2 on Colby Turner. As a junior with the Cardinal, he was on the NCBWA Stopper of the Year Award watch list given to the best relief pitcher in college baseball. Across 22 appearances with Stanford, all out of the bullpen, an ERA just north of 7.
That best performance of the season for him came in relief against Duke team and made a good run in the NCAA tournament. He went 3 scoreless innings, 4 strikeouts in that one. Stanford's first season in the ACC.
He's been a usual reliever with Stanford in all 3 springs he's been there in California. At least 17 appearances in each of his freshman, sophomore, and junior years. Go back to when he was a freshman, the Pac-12 champions there with that Stanford team. Now sees his first full count on Cape Cod this summer. 3-2 to Colby Turner. Is grounded right over to Ryan Zuckerman. Across the diamond he throws, takes Ken Schmidt off the bag. Lose the ball there. Good backup from Eckelman keeps Turner over at first base following the error. From one Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket to another,
Zuckerman sails it over for an E5. And it's Turner who takes first.
Even a nice stop by Zuckerman to his right. That was hard hit off the bat by Turner. Just that throw a little bit too high. Schmidt has to jump up to corral it. That's tough to do in one motion. Come back down with the baseball while also keeping your eye on it.
Zuckerman with the backhand at third base. But that's been an area of concern for the Commodores as of recently. There's come errors at the hot corner and errors in general as Chris McHugh watches ball one. Commodores making 3 errors to match Brewster's 3 errors in the Whitecaps' 5-2 win last night. McHugh skies one into left field. This one is tailing foul, and Salinas just watches it go out of play. McHugh, a rising junior at NC State, finished his first year in the ACC after spending his freshman season in the A-10 with VCU. One of the more experienced Gatemen so far this year, playing in his 23rd game. He's got a .244 average on the summer. Kobe Turner on first base, following the error. Turner takes off, pitches outside, no throw down from the catcher Mason Eckelman, and Turner claims second. First runner in scoring position is Colby Turner in the first half inning played. Aaron's 2-1. Held back by Chris McHugh, All-ACC second team selection this past spring. How about his first year playing in one of the toughest conferences for collegiate baseball? He led the Wolfpack with a .365 average after playing and starting 53 games at first base. It's a position he occupies today for Ryan Smythe. Big lead at second for Turner. For O'Haron's 2-2. Called strike 3. O'Haron's first strikeout on Cape Cod this summer. Sits down Chris McHugh for the second out in the top of the first.
That's just a really good spot with the fastball on the bottom right of the zone where McHugh, who's more known for that power ability to pull it out to left field, you make him reach down to the other side to poke it out the other way. And when a spot is that perfect from a pitcher, it's really hard to argue that as a hitter.
O'Haron didn't have the strikeout to walk ratio he wanted this past season with Stanford. 23 strikeouts to 18 walks. And that was even worse in his 6 appearances with YD last summer. Has 6 strikeouts to 13 bases on balls.
He was giving up about a hit, an earned run, and a walk just about in every single inning he pitched, average-wise.
Here's Chase Cruson. He looks to score Kobe Turner from second in this scoreless game early. Pitch outside, stopped by Eckelman, though. So Cruson, the rising junior, and now transferred to Rutgers after a season at UCF, was at Duke his freshman year before that. Third school in 3 years, and third Power 5 conference as well. Going from ACC to Big 12, now into the Big 10 with the Scarlet Knights. Called strike 2, and O'Haron 1 pitch away from stranding Turner at second in his first inning on Cape Cod this summer. Torrin O'Haron kicks and deals the 1-2. Just outside. Eckelman loses it for a moment, but it's right in front of him.
First time seeing Mason Eckelman behind home plate since Tuesday against Catuit, where he did make 2 throwing errors in that one. Robert Harrison has gotten the majority of the starts since then.
2 of the newest Commodores and O'Haron on the mound, and Eckelman behind the plate, both activated last week. 2-2. Goes off middle of the bat into no man's land, but the right fielder Antonio Morales takes a few steps in and ends at the top of the first inning. Kobe Turner reaches on an error, but a strikeout, then a fly out induced by Torrin O'Haron. Make his first inning of work this summer go without a hitch. Still scoreless entering the bottom of the first here on Cape League TV.
Hi, my name is Matt Burgess, General Manager here at Falmouth Country Club. We have a unique 27-hole public golf course with a beautiful layout that is family-oriented. Kids play free here at Falmouth Country Club. Getting on the course is quick and easy with our app. You can book tee times, get yardages with GPS, use our interactive scorecard, track your stats, and receive exclusive in-app offers. Falmouth Country Club is a true Cape Cod classic and a local family favorite.
See you on the course.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: Kinlan Grover Compass, Massachusetts State Lottery, Milton Cat, OT Sports, Quincy College, Reader's Hardware Supply, Southern Recognition, T-Mobile, Velo Sports, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
I'm Antonio Morales from Norfolk, Massachusetts, and I'd love to get a shout out to my mom, my dad, my sister, and all my supporters.
There you hear a nice shout out from Antonio Morales, the West Division All-Star Game MVP. He'll bat leadoff today in a Commodores team that now bats for the first time in this scoreless game. Morales, Schmidt, New, and Ken Schmidt. Those are all 4 Cape League All-Stars just a week ago. In that game from Red Wilson Field, you had Adrian Lopez at the 6th spot, too. How about Ryan Zuckerman getting bumped up, too? Me and Ben Haller were talking about that. We thought that could happen with Saltilamakia.
It has absolutely been well-deserved for Ryan Zuckerman, who is hitting the cover off the baseball right now. But to go against a guy like Josh Butler, who was an all-star this past year for Wareham, it's going to be a tall task to go up against.
Yeah, just as you mentioned, the Arizona State Sun Devil. He was one of 2 Wareham pitchers selected for the All-Star game last week alongside Caleb Appleby. This is the second time as well that he's seen this Commodores lineup. You see the impressive sub-1.5 ERA. Pitched against Falmouth on July 5th. A decent appearance, 3 1/3 innings pitch. Gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk to 3 strikeouts. And this is the first time that Butler pitches for Wareham in a regular season game in 2 weeks. He'd get 2/3 of an inning in the All-Star game this past Saturday. Faces Morales first off. Morales, a rising junior, announcing his commitment to Maryland after 2 springs at Wake Forest. Local kid from Norfolk, Massachusetts, and Roxbury Latin High School. Sees his account go 1-1. Mentioned that All-Star Game MVP that Antonio Morales earned alongside Harwich's Trey Broussard. He was the first Commodore to win that since 2013. How about 12 years ago? Morales used often for the Commodores this season, making his 32nd appearance out of a possible 33. Lines this one the opposite way, on the move. It's a left fielder, Cruz, and this one drops out of his glove. Question is, was it in foul territory? I believe it was, and the call there by third base umpire Matthew Keene.
Yeah, that is a tough call down the third base line where Cruzen's momentum is taking him out of play. And that is really just down to Kane's eye at third base, where if he deems it, yeah, that is so close, because really you're basically just kind of deciding in that moment, if he doesn't make any contact with it, does that drop into fair territory? And that's really close to the naked eye to make that call.
I think it looked at first glance like it was in foul territory, with Cruzen charging to his right towards the line. So you're right, Kane does call it a foul ball. Count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes on Morales. And on one hop to the second baseman, good stop by Randall. Steps up and throws it to first base for out number 1.
That is a really calm play over at second by Randall, where he knocks it down nicely, keeps it in front of him, keeps it down to 1 knee. Didn't rush the throw either with Morales. Good amount of speed down the first base line.
So we already mentioned Randall at second, Cruzen at left. That's what the other 9 starters looked like defensively for the Gatemen today. Got a new catcher there in Aris Rivera, the battery mate with Butler, as Carl Schmidt pops up the first pitch he sees into shallow right center field. Colby Turner comes in to make the play on it for the second out.
The center fielder from the University of Arkansas, number 3, Micah New.
After Schmidt, here's Micah New, rising senior at Arkansas. Going over to his third school after a pair of seasons at New Orleans, one at Marshall this past spring. Now getting ready for SEC baseball with the Razorbacks. And he's been great this season through 27 games played to a 308 average.
How about this too, Ryan? No batting gloves today from Micah New.
He's a big accessory guy as well.
Absolutely.
Usually rocks the baby blue arm sleeve on the left arm, as well as the matching batting gloves. Sometimes the white ones. You see, the white gloves don't have many hits in them, though. Sees the count go to 1 ball, 2 strikes. On the Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania native. New went back to Pennsylvania a few weeks ago to be with his family during the Major League Baseball draft. He wasn't picked, though, during the 20-round selection, so back on Cape Cod after being gone for about a week. Still the Cape League leader with 7 homers. Tied for first with 33 hits and 12 for extra bases. Butler looks to end bottom of the first in order, 2-2. Here's a slider, popped straight up by New. Rivera loses the helmet and catches out number 3. Commodores go down in order in the bottom of the first inning. That's just 1 fewer base runner, though, than Wareham had in the top of the first. It's been all pitchers through the first inning. We'll see what the second inning has in store. We'll bring it back right here on Cape League TV.
Hi, I'm Jim Murray, owner of Falmouth's historic clam shack, now Jim's Clam Shack. Located on scenic Falmouth Harbor, Jim's Clam Shack is a destination for the best seafood and sunsets on the Cape. We're open 7 days a week, so stop by for lunch or join us for dinner on the rooftop deck. Bring the entire family to try our wide selection of seafood and kid-friendly options. We deliver the freshest products to your plates daily. Jim's Clam Shack, proud supporter of the Falmouth Commodores.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: Veolia North America, Wilson Sporting Goods, Yawkey Foundation, Netting Pros, Falmouth Publishing Company, Butler Sporting Goods, Sportspix, Margaritaville Resort Cape Cod, Sunderland Printing, Delmar Vacation Rentals, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Hi, I'm TJ Coates. I'm a right-handed pitcher from the University of Nebraska, and I'd love to give a special shout-out to my brother. Love you, big man.
Top of the second inning here from Gov Fuller Field. We take a look at the last time these two teams matched up. A 9-run win at Spillane Field, home of the Wareham Gatemen. The first of 2 9-run losses that week for Falmouth. That was a game that really trickled after a poor outing by Leif Palmer.
Yeah, 2 runs, or I should say 5 runs in the second inning. You combat that with 4 runs in the third inning. Not a great recipe for success. And after that point on, Commodores were kind of just playing for pride at that point. But definitely not a loss that the Commodores wanted on the resume, and to even follow that up with another 9-run loss a little bit later in the week was definitely not ideal.
That was a good first inning work for Palmer. And things just ballooned in the second or third. All of a sudden, you blink. Commodores to come up to bat, top of the fourth, down 9-0 to a Wareham team that ended up winning by that same margin. We now see the second inning work for Torrin O'Haron. Stanford Cardinal faces 5, 6, and 7 in the Wareham lineup in the top of the second. It starts with the big Florida DH in Caden McDonald. Correct that's Chase Cruson in left field today. It was McDonald who flew out to right to end the top of the first. Cruson swings through a second pitch strike. Cruson, the Cape League All-Star starting second baseman for the West Division. Brings that experience from Duke, UCF, now to Rutgers in the Big Ten. O'Haron's 2-1. He's grounded just foul towards Ken Schmidt at first. You got to think, Andrew, we talk so much about the new landscape of college athletics and the transfer portal being utilized. You don't often see a guy entering the portal twice from the Power 5 level, as Cruson has.
I think just the way it kind of works now, where I think that we've seen a lot more transfers in conference, a lot more than jumping around from conference to conference. Because Cruson was very highly touted out of high school as the #1 prospect outfield-wise in the state of Pennsylvania.
Bridgeville, Pennsylvania native. Again, now heading to Rutgers for his junior season. Slaps this one into right field. Go for a base hit as Morales gets it on a few hops and tosses it back in. A leadoff single for Chase Cruson. That one got off the bat of Cruson in a hurry. Check out this 104 mile per hour off the bat swing for the Rutgers Scarlet Knight. We'll try that again a little bit, but just know that one was fast for Cruson. He's on first base now for Chris Ramirez. O'Haron has had a runner on base earlier via Kobe Turner reaching on the E5. But that's the first base runner that O'Haron puts on now in his first appearance on Cape Cod this season. Runner on for Chris Ramirez, rising sophomore at Cal Baptist. Working to his 11th game played with the Gatemen. Runner takes off again. It's a called strike, but it's Cruson who steals second with ease. Look down at Eckelman as he sees another runner swipe a bag. First it was Turner in the first, and now Cruson here in the second for Ramirez. He's got exactly 500 lines so far. 14 hits and 28 plate appearances through 10 games. Used more as a defensive replacement this summer so far for Ryan Smythe.
And as he run through the offensive numbers, that is still ridiculous. Through 10 games, he is batting .500, and I think even too defensively. Even with Shamar McDuffie leaving the Gatemen, he's been also impressive defensively as well.
Zuckerman picks it up in fair territory, throws it across the diamond to his Georgia Tech teammate Ken Schmidt for out number 1. Make that just sub 500 for Ramirez, and brings up Hayden Yost. Yost, the rising junior out of Florida, a Tampa native. 29th game played with the Wareham Gatemen. And he still has Cruson over at second. Aaron's first delivered. Big swing and a miss. Uses that off-speed stuff well to his disposal.
Change up at only 82 miles per hour. That is a lot different than a 92 mile per hour fastball, and Yost just got that firsthand.
The off-speed stuff that worked well for O'Haron this spring with Stanford. A throw over to second. Tagged by Lopez is just late on Cruson. I can't remember the last time we've seen a successful pickoff attempt by a Commodores pitcher here at home. Spent some time. That one looked close there at second, and Brickta had a great look at it.
Cruson was dancing around a little bit over at second base, and Lopez kind of hit the glove behind him very well.
Another throw over from O'Haron. Zedel just pocket it. That will go as the automatic ball as well. 1. Snagged off a hop by Ken Schmidt. He'll take it to first base himself for the second out. Does move Cruson over to third base. Stop right there on a hop by Ken Schmidt.
That is definitely a tremendous defensive play where he absolutely saves a run there. If that ball gets by him in the right field, I can tell you with the speed that Cruson has, he is definitely scoring.
We've already seen Cruson show up that speed a little bit with the stolen base. To get over to second base, that was his 9th stolen base on Cape Cod. Here's Eris Rivera, the UCF catcher. Sees ball 1. Rivera loses the bat. Go all the way into the netting just above the Gatemen's dugout. Rivera, another Florida native. That's a big theme for Ryan Smythe's Gatemen team this season. Transferring over from UCF into FIU.
Gonna need some more pine tar as well.
Probably. Rivera in his second summer with the Wareham Gatemen. A newer face. He played 12 games with the DeLand Suns in the Florida Collegiate League to start this summer. He played 5 games with the Gatemen in 2024. Went just 1 for 13 in his first summer, but in his second summer so far, 3 for his first 6. Still no score here between Wareham and Falmouth in Game 33 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. That could all change, though, now with Chase Cruson on third base, following his leadoff single. Stole a base, then advanced on the ground out by Yost. Pitch outside. Rivera now heading to count 3 balls, 1 strike. So he looks for his 4th RBI on the summer. He had a great Thursday against Orleans. Went 3 for 3, scored a run, and had 3 RBI. He reached base on all 4 plate appearances. Aaron's 3-1. Just tapped into the glove of Eckelman before trickling down the first baseline. A few words of encouragement from the Commodores dugout with manager Jared Saltzlamakian. Understanding this O'Haron's first appearance with the Commodores, first appearance on Cape Cod this summer, spending 6 games in YD last year. His payoff. Runs upstairs. Eris Rivera works a full count walk. There's now runners on the corners for the 9-hole hitter and Vance Sheehan.
We'll bring up the third baseman from the University of Miami, number 16, Vance Sheehan. Number 16.
It's the first walk that Porn O'Haron has allowed this summer. Quick smile while looking over to the Commodores dugout and probably sharing a face with pitching coach Todd Carroll. Sheehan watches the first pitch go outside. The rising junior spent 2 seasons at USC Upstate. Member of the Big South there, now heading to Miami. He's also a Florida guy. Went to Cardinal Newman and from Lake Worth, Florida. He nubs this one back over to O'Haron. He again makes a nice play off the mound, touches first himself for the 3rd out. It does strand Chase Cruson over at third base. Good inning with some pressure there for Torrin O'Haron. Still scoreless entering the bottom of the 2nd on Cape League TV.
You'll always be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at Compass Real Estate.
hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
What's up? I'm Kent Schmidt, first base from Georgia Tech, and you're watching Cape League TV.
Home half of the second inning here from Gov Fuller Field during a Bat Kid Appreciation Night in 2025. Special moment to honor 13 Bat Kids with the Falmouth Commodores who have given part of their summer to work with the Commodores, race over to get loose foul balls or bats from Commodores players. We appreciate all that they do, and you see on the left there, that's Jared Saltamakia's younger daughter, Charlie. She's one of the 13 Bat Kids.
It's cool when we got to talk to Salty a couple of weeks ago at that Meet the Coaches event. And having her here on Cape Cod, he said, is so special. And getting her back to school maybe potentially a little bit earlier than scheduled. She always gets back there, especially when he was down the Bourne the first 3 seasons. She'd be late getting back the first week, but he said he might work something out this time around.
The key word there is maybe. Once you start having fun into August, maybe Falmouth makes a bit of a run here, finds its way into the Cape League playoffs. All of a sudden, Charlie's missing the first day of school again. First pitch and called strike to Ken Schmidt to begin the home half of the second.
Well, you know how they do it down south as well. It's
so early.
Yeah, it's very early. It's usually mid-August. You know, we're both Massachusetts kid. It's been usually that week before Labor Day, but even down south, it's even earlier.
Schmidt grounds it to shortstop in Ramirez, throws across for out number 1. Well, they also get out so much earlier as well. I think it's closer to
like early June or
May.
Like saying mid-May.
I'm saying
like the
Florida,
college schedule.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, summers go from May to end of July.
Yeah, we were always out early June, mid-June.
Speak for yourself. I was mid-late June.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Make up all those snow days
week
too.
Or 2 before July 4th. Here's Ryan Zuckerman. He sees a first pitch called strike by home plate umpire Jeff Merzel. A couple of Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets back-to-back after Ken Schmidt grounds out to the shortstop in Ramirez. Here's Zuckerman making the transfer from Pittsburgh to Georgia Tech as he flies this one into center field. Aiden Yost comes way in on it for out number 2. It's the first 5 up, 5 down for Wareham. Arizona State right-handed pitcher Josh Butler. And he was a Cape League All-Star this past Saturday, as was Adrian Lopez, who looks to be the first Commodore to reach Game 33 of the Cape League season. Lopez, 24 games played so far on Cape Cod, a .212 average, really struggling. As of recently, Andrew, you had a chance to talk with him before the Brewster loss yesterday.
And I do really like his mentality about, despite these struggles, and he's really said he's got this from Saltamakia, this new day mentality where you really have to forget about the night before and kind of just move on to the next day in front of you, and it's a good mentality to have.
Round this one over to his counterpart at short in Ramirez. He throws across for out number 3. Make it 6 up, 6 down to start this game for Josh Butler. Commodores don't have an answer yet. Maybe Wareham has the first run of this game when we return. Top of the third coming up next on Cape League TV.
One source has it all. The pros' go-to rental choice for the newest and most reliable equipment for any job. One source that has a team you can rely on, the people and a name you trust, with the tools you need. One source, with a location near you and wherever the work takes you. Milton Reds, the right equipment when and where you need it.
Top of the third inning from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Still scoreless between the Wareham Gatemen and the Falmouth Commodores. In this inning, we will see Colby Turner come up to bat, the third member of our crew. And Ben Haller has a little bit more on Turner and maybe a family lineage of a sport outside of baseball, outside of the sports you consider the most. Ben? Sorry about that technical difficulty. We'll hopefully have Ben here in the booth or back on the Diamond side in just a little bit to tell that good story about Colby Turner. It's one you won't want to miss, and we can't wait to hear it in just a little bit. Goes to the top of the order to start for the third inning of work for Torrin O'Haron. Starts off with Braden Randall, who grounded out to O'Haron in the top of the first inning to lead off this game. First pitch of the inning for O'Haron is lined into right center field. Morales sees a drop right between him and New. This will go off the foot of New. Randall takes a turn around second. He's thinking about third. Throw in from New comes. It's Randall who's going to have a stand-up triple. See if that goes as an error on New. It's going to go as a double. And the third base on the error to New. Second error already in this game for Falmouth. So now it's Braden Randall over at third base for Colby Turner, who we now have Ben Haller, the third member of our crew, to tell his story. Ben?
Yeah, thanks so much, Ryan. Colby Turner hitting now. This is a league where you see a lot of players coming from competitive families. It's a different kind of competitive family for Colby. His dad, back in 2016, inducted into the National Surfing Hall of Fame. Surfed back in high school at Huntington Beach High School, which is one of the powerhouses for competitive surfing, and got to surf in different places all around the world, like Australia, Mexico, even South Africa, while competing at high school. His son Colby at the plate even took after it and surfed in high school, but he chose baseball. There's that nice ground out to Adrian Lopez. Well, interesting play. Maybe some acrobatics with the surfing gets him into first base there. Back to you, Ryan.
A little bit of fun there. First base was Ken Schmidt as well. Thanks so much, Ben. It will go as another error on this Commodores defense. Make it a third error as Saltamaki comes out to have a word now with first base umpire Jake Brichta.
That play felt eerily similar to Zuckerman in that overthrow with Turner batting again back in the first inning. But Schmidt kind of made the tag as well, so you know, if he's there before the baseball and he tags him, of course he's out. But
Schmidt's had a pretty good glove over at first base as well, but trying to jump up from that 6-foot frame. Doesn't work well as there's a warning issued now to Jared Saltamaki and the Commodores dugout by home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzel.
And he is someone that doesn't confront the umpires very often. You know, was a catcher back in his day, know how to handle the guys behind home plate. Doesn't get too reckless or rowdy when he comes out of the dugout to argue a call.
So again, on the error too, that's charged to Adrian Lopez. Braden Randall does score the first run of this game. It's 1-0 Wareham. Still no one out in the top of the third. For Chris McHugh, he struck out looking, the only strikeout victim so far for O'Haron. That came in the first inning. Now 3 errors for the Commodores. That matched Falmouth's total from last night against Brewster. Whitecaps also matched with 3 errors. Falmouth's now done it in the first 2 innings played. McHugh We'll round this one into fair territory. Down the left field line, it goes as a double. Another two-bagger for the Gatemen. First it was Randall to lead off the inning. Now 2 batters later, Chris McHugh gets over to second.
And that's kind of the issue when you give teams extra outs in this league. And not even to boot the Gatemen being one of the best hitting teams and best scoring teams here on Cape Cod, but that doesn't work against any team.
Yeah, that run for Braden Randall was the 172nd run scored by Wareham this summer. That's the most on Cape Cod. Make it 16 more than the Katuitt Kettleers in second place. So with Turner over at third base and McHugh over at second. Action on the base pass now. Trying to strand them by Torin O'Haron. First pitch to Caden McDonald, runs outside. McDonald, one of the more interesting players, not only for this Gateman team, but in this summer in general. The rising redshirt sophomore at Florida. He's been both a pitcher and designated hitter for the Gatemen so far this year. 25 games as a batter, and he's also seen 7 appearances to a very respectable 3.32 ERA.
He's only allowed 1 hit in his last 10 innings of work or so on the mound.
He's got a big bat as well. When you think about the fly out to right field to end the first inning, it'll drop the average a little bit. But McDonald still swinging a 302 line.
One of the many guys from Tampa that played at Sickles High School. That was coached by Eric Lucas, who's now pitching coach for the Gatemen.
2-1 goes upstairs. Again, it's O'Hara who's found himself getting behind in counts. Here the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike to the cleanup and designated hitter, Caden McDonald.
Caden Yost, also a Sickles guy from Tampa, also goes to Florida as well with McDonald.
3-1 goes inside. And for the first time today for either team, the bases are loaded. There's still no one out in the top of the third inning. This seems like a patented time for a quick mound meeting with pitching coach Todd Carroll, and that's exactly what we'll have here as the infield comes in with O'Haron. Already, O'Haron's up to 52 pitches, 28 first strikes through 2 innings worked. He has the 1 strikeout to now 2 walks issued and has the 1 run earned as Braden Randall scored atop this inning.
And I think, too, from a pitcher standpoint, when you have those defensive miscues kind of add up and you have to throw more pitches, you know, everything is a butterfly effect, really, Ryan, in this sport, where the defense struggles, pitchers have to throw more pitches, hitters see more at-bats, see those more pitches, and then eventually continues to work down the line. So everything in this sport really starts with defense, and it's not been great to the Commodores. 46 errors now this summer.
That was a point of emphasis for Falmouth, that Jared Saltzmacher, we talked about him way long ago now, preseason, before the June 14th opening day. Chase Cruson watches a first pitch ball. He's got Colby Turner at third base, Chris McHugh at second, now Caden McDonald at first. As Wareham tries to build on its 1-0 lead. Already 1 across in this half inning. Cruson over to the third baseman and Ryan Zuckerman. Catches it on a line for the first out in this inning. Every runner gets back to their respective base.
Good snare by Zuckerman. I was going to wonder if he was going to almost play the knock it down rule where you don't catch it on purpose, throw home. But he even had a chance to get the runner at first and McDonald too. He was about halfway to second when Zuckerman didn't get those eyes up quick enough.
Brings up Chris Ramirez. Double play depth now for the middle infield pairing of the shortstop Lopez, second baseman Osterhaus.
Also those corners in as well, Ryan, to protect doubles down the line.
It's a defense that's looking to be more fundamentally sound under Saltamaki. Again, the errors have been the problem for the Commodores. It's the first time this season that Chris Ramirez, the rising sophomore at Cal Baptist, has seen the bases loaded with the Wareham Gatemen, again in his 11th game played on Cape Cod. He's got an opportunity to build on his 4 runs batted in so far this summer. Again, Turner at third, McHugh at second, and McDonald at first in this 1-run Gateman lead. Moment for Torrin O'Haron. He's down 3-0. His pitch. Flips the outer third for a called strike. Get me over for the Stanford Cardinal. And that pitch count works up quickly for O'Haron, making his first start since the spring of 2024 when he was a sophomore at Stanford. His 60th pitch, spoiled away by Ramirez. Count runs full.
Expected to keep this baseball low in the zone. Yes, they're still looking to not walk Ramirez, but still turn that patented double play.
Corona, California native, grounded out to Zuckerman at third base in his first plate appearance. O'Haron's payoff. Again, spoiled away by Ramirez. Wareham's already stranded 3 base runners in this game. 1 in the first, 2 in the second. After 2 errors in this half inning for Falmouth, it's a 1-0 Gateman lead. And opportunity for more damage. 3-2 again. Runs inside, and O'Haron walks one in. Second walk issued in the last 3 batters faced for Torrin O'Haron. His 3rd walk overall. Puts Ramirez over at first base and scores Kobe Turner to make it 2-0 Wareham. And that will do it for the Stanford right-hander in his first appearance on Cape Cod. Goes 2 1/3 innings, and we'll see what his final line is soon. New pitcher into the game for Falmouth when we bring it back right here on Cape League TV.
Introducing Open Cape, the local nonprofit internet service provider in this region. Open Cape's fast and reliable network is 100% fiber optic, providing affordable internet connectivity. To learn more, visit opencape.org and always speak with a live Open Cape representative. Open Cape, providing choice and competition for your home or business and the official internet provider of your Falmouth Commodores.
We are Open Cape.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Hi, I'm Justin Osterhaus from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'd like to give a special shout out to my parents and my brother, Becky and JD Osterhaus and Brady Osterhaus.
And 1 out for the Wareham Gatemen in the top of the 3rd inning, where Wareham's already played the first 2 runs in this game. Enter Reese Markham, the rising sophomore at Gulf Coast Community College, South Carolina native, on for his 2nd appearance of the summer. Comes with the bases loaded now for the visitors.
Yeah, he got that first appearance a little bit earlier in the week when Katuitt was in the town. 2 scoreless innings, walked 2 strikeouts, doing a good job in his first appearance here on Cape Cod, but inherits a mess here right now with the bases loaded, and are the Commodores trailing by 2.
The right-hander and Lexington, South Carolina native works from the first base side of the rubber against Hayden Yost. These are the pitching reinforcements that Salt Slomakia, pitching coach Todd Carroll, continue to bring in mid-season. That's where you see the biggest turnover in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Pitchers just running out of innings. This one sent back up the middle for a base hit by Yost. It's McHugh scoring easily from third. McDonald takes a turn from second to throw home for Eckelman, and they got him. A great relay home by Micah New. Shoots down Caden McDonald for out number 2. First run does score, and Chris McHugh to make it 3-0 Gatemen.
That is a great hose by Micah New, traditional shortstop in his collegiate time. But he put a whole lot into that one, and also a great job, too, by Mason Eckelman. He kind of did the wide receiver thing where you hide your hands late when you catch the football. Got to hide his reaction late where when he catches down, it tags immediately. Good play on both sides.
This goes a one-run single for Hayden Yost. 4th hit of this game for the Wareham Gatemen. Again, feels like a while since we've seen Falmouth come to bat, but it's been 6 up, 6 down for the Commodores against Josh Butler so far. Here's Eris Rivera. He walked on his first plate appearance. This one lined into right field, right to Antonio Morales, working towards the right side for out number 3. Half inning finally over for the Commodores as Wareham plays the first 3 runs of this game. Gatemen in the driver's seat. We'll see if that continues in the home half when we bring it right back on Cape League TV.
At Cape Cod Healthcare, we're committed to excellence and compassion in everything we do, like helping people maintain their active lifestyles. Our innovative orthopedic program combines advanced techniques and leading-edge technology with highly specialized teams, including our nationally recognized Center of Excellence for Joint Replacement. Our focus is getting you back to doing the things you love in the place you love.
The Center of Excellence and the quality of care that we can deliver makes all the difference to the patients. They understand that they can get the best care right here on Cape Cod.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Hi, I'm Jacob Schultz from Houston, Texas, and I'd like to give a special shout out to my mom.
Appreciate the shout out there from Cape League All-Star reliever Jacob Schultz. He's one of many Commodores that you can learn from this summer. If you're a kid age 5 to 18, you can sign up for the Falmouth Commodores Youth Development Clinics. Live a day in the life of a Commodore and train with top college players right here at Gov Fuller Field. Register today on our website at capecodleague.com/Falmouth. Home half of the 3rd inning as the sun begins to set at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts. It's 3-0 Wareham Gatemen. Game 33 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Falmouth Commodores looking for their first run in this game, or maybe first base runner. 7, 8, 9 are due up in a lineup that's gone down in order so far. 6 up, 6 down for the right-hander Josh Butler. Arizona State Sun Devils facing this Falmouth team for the 2nd time this summer. It's 3 lefties to work against the righty in Josh Butler. Starts off with the Ohio State Buckeye, Mason Eckelman. Eckelman just had the nice play defensively at catcher to bring in the throwdown from the center fielder, Micah New. And tag out Caden McDonald, who would have made this a 4-0 game. Now it's Eckelman lining it into center field, and Hayden Yost gets to it for out number 1.
The left fielder, Rutgers, number 36, Tristan.
The thing is, too, Ryan, it's not like the Commodores are going up there swinging and missing at 3 straight pitches. They've put some good contact on the baseball. They've just been right at these Gatemen defenders.
Yeah, first 7 up, 7 down. None have gone down via the strikeout, though, yet for Falmouth. Here's Tristan Salinas. Check swing on the first pitch he sees. They do see he went around for strike 1. Correct that. That's ball 1 on Salinas, rising sophomore at Rutgers, who then lines it in towards left field. The shortstop and Ramirez comes all the way out onto some grass to pull down out number 2.
The second baseman from the University of Alabama, number 7, Justin Osterhouse, number 7.
Last hope for this Commodores lineup that looks to avoid going all the way through without getting a base runner is Justin Osterhouse. The Alabama second baseman's found a home here at the 9-hole spot. Butler's first pitch. It's a curveball that runs inside. And Osterhouse looking more and more comfortable. A rising junior, originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Spent his first 2 collegiate seasons at Purdue Fort Wayne, a team now without a baseball program due to discontinuing both baseball and softball, saving about $1 million. 28 games played for the Commodores so far this season, a .260 average for Osterhouse. He sees a called strike 1. Butler's 2-1, belted into center field by Osterhouse. Yost takes a few steps backwards and towards the right, but it's no problem for out number 3. 9 up, 9 down. Every Commodore starts this day 0 for 1. It's Josh Butler, who's working quickly and efficiently on the mound for Wareham, who now looks to build on a 3-0 lead as we're a third of the way through here on Cape League TV.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Introducing Open Cape, the local nonprofit internet service provider in this region. Open Cape's fast and reliable network is 100% fiber optic, providing affordable internet connectivity. To learn more, visit opencape.org and always speak with a live Open Cape representative. Open Cape, providing choice and competition for your home or business and the official internet provider of your Falmouth Commodores.
We are Open Cape.
I'm Trevor Baumler, right-handed pitcher from TCU, and you're watching Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
Top of the 4th inning on a Saturday night at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts, which means it's now time for some Doors trivia. We'll get to that in just a moment. As it's second inning of work for Reese Markham. He sees a big swing and a miss on the first pitch offered by Vance Sheehan. There's our question there. Last time at the Gov, Wareham committed 7 errors. You remember that game? What team holds the record for most errors in a game? Is it A, YD, B, Catuit, C, Bourne, or D, Hyannis? You can play along at home and tweeting your answer and including the hashtag Doors Trivia. Stay tuned for the answer in the bottom half of this inning. Bottom half of the 4th inning, I should say, as it's now strike 2 on Vance Sheehan. That is our producer, Dan Papillo, going deep into his bag to think of an answer after it was me and Ben both bested him yesterday with knowing the one for Brewster.
I kind of, how do I phrase this? I know some part of the answer that won't actually figure it out. So the Gatemen had 7 errors in that ball game. The last time they had 6 in a game was June 20th, 2014.
It's his Falmouth team, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. But I'm not sure who had more in a game.
We go AYD. I think that was the answer. I think this one's a toss-up for me. I will concede to Dan Papillo. You can play along at home again, tweeting your answer, hashtag Doors Trivia. I think this one is a complete toss-up, though. 1-2 to Sheehan. He goes golfing. Swings through strike 3. Miami third baseman is retired for the 2nd time this game. There's 1 out to begin the 4th.
Back to the order for the Gatemen, second baseman for Brandon, number 3, Pregame Randall.
Take a look again at Reese Markham getting the 9-hitter. Vance Sheehan to go around. It's the 3rd strikeout this summer, 1st in the game for Reese Markham. Now already here's Braden Randall, leadoff hitter, up for the third time today. He sees a call at strike one. Randall so far today, he's 1 for 2. Think about an inning ago where he led off the third with a double. And then the error advanced him. He scored the first run in this game. That was part of the start and first appearance this summer for Torrin O'Hare, and Stanford Cardinals. Line is closed. He goes 2 1/3 innings pitched, gives up 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and just 1 strikeout. And that's his first start in any collegiate game, summer or at school, since spring 2024. That one's grounded over to Kent Schmidt for out number 2. So here's Colby Turner. He's 0 for 2 today, but has reached on 2 errors. How about that? An error by Ryan Zuckerman at third in the first inning, then reached on the error by Adrian Lopez at short in the second, and then he scored. Error in the third there on Lopez as part of a 2-error third inning for the Commodores.
Both to the left side of the infield as well was Zuckerman and Lopez.
That's what you might be expecting from the West Division All-Star and righty swinging Michigan Wolverine. Turner sees the 1-0. Confidence-wise, when you take the start of this game so far, what we saw in the 5-2 loss to Brewster, if Reese Markham can set down Wareham in order here in the fourth, the first time the Gatemen would do so, could be big for this Commodores team, already down 3-0, and a big second strike.
A whole lot of break on that slider.
Works away from the righty in Turner. Markham's 1-2. He's grounded over to Zuckerman. Snow cones it on a few hops, throws across the diamond for out number 3. Defense settling in for Falmouth, and so is Reese Markham. He retires Wareham in order in the home half of the fourth. Falmouth looks for his first hit in this game when we bring it back in the bottom of the fourth on Cape League TV.
You'll always be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at Compass Real Estate.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: Cape Space, Cape Cod 5, Cisco Brewers, Cape Cod Healthcare, Hampton Inn, Franklin Sports, Highline Cruises, Jersey Mike's, and of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Hi, I'm Jackson Minesco from Motion City, New Jersey, and I want to give a quick shout out to my mom.
Home half of the fourth inning here from Gov Fuller Field, a 3-0 Wareham Gatemen lead. There's your answer for our Doors Trivia question. It's D. Hyannis. That's the team that holds the record for the most errors in a game so far. That happened back in June 1994 in an 11-6 loss to this Wareham Gatemen team. Wareham has the second most. They had 8 in 1996.
It's good stuff.
Dan Papillo does his homework before our broadcast. Appreciate Papillo's work in producing, as well as our whole crew here in Falmouth. 1, 2, and 3 due up for the Commodores. Now into the fourth inning of work for Josh Butler. That's because he's faced 9 Commodores batters and retired all 9 to start this appearance. Morales, a ground out victim to begin this game for the Commodores. Maryland right fielder. Looks for his first hit in this game. Again, a week removed from winning West Division All-Star Game MVP. Two-0 is grounded by Morales right down the first base line. Butler, will he miss the tag? He will. And then Morales dives into first base. Doesn't matter how pretty, just matters if he can get it done. Morales becomes the first base runner of this game for Falmouth. It's Wareham manager Ryan Smythe who has different ideas. He comes out to have a word with the umpiring crew. But what an effort there for Morales.
It's time to look at this. Yeah, doesn't look like he makes contact with him. That's a great effort, too, by Morales.
And the umpiring crew of home plate umpire Jeff Merzel at third base, Matthew Kane, first base Jake Brichta. They will say he's safe. It goes down as a hit for Antonio Morales. Smythe will just shake his head. But there is finally a Commodores base runner on after Josh Butler retires the first 9 batters he faces in this Commodores lineup. Here's Carl Schmidt. Some speed at first base with Morales. He stays, though, as it's Schmidt, a broken bat, grounder over to short. Ramirez throws over for out number 1. Already the 4th put out in this game for Chris Ramirez over at short. Does move Antonio Morales up to second. Runner in scoring position now for the Commodores and Mike Canoe. You mentioned the no batting gloves for New. A lot less accessories for multiple Commodores position players. Part of a day, too, where manager Jared Saltamakia is encouraging and trying to put a huge emphasis on having fun with playing baseball. It's been a long strike so far. Commodores brought out the slip and slide pregame today. We heard and saw. It was a hot Saturday here at Go Fuller Field in Falmouth, and Commodores took advantage of that, having some fun. And again, it's tough to remember sometimes you do 60 games of a collegiate season, upwards of 40 here in the summer season. That baseball is meant to be fun.
They do come here for a reason. That's not only to sharpen their talents to get some of the best, but also, they're just like us. They're also on their summer break as well.
If you ask any Commodores player what they did on any given off day, if it's a nice day, I'm thinking 70 to 80% say that they'll be at Falmouth Heights Beach or go up to Old Silver. Take advantage of the beautiful surroundings. Maybe make the day trip over to Martha's Vineyard. That's what Mike Canoe was talking about doing on this past off day on Monday, really using it as an opportunity to relax himself, find his composure before the busy week of games ahead. Morales over at second. He would represent the first Commodores run in this game. As Falmouth chases by 3 here to Wareham, Gatemen have scored all 3 of their runs on top of the 3rd. Arizona State Sundell. Butler's 1-2. It's just outside to even the count. Mike Canoe has 21 runs batted into his name. That leads all Commodores hitter and is second most on Cape Cod. Came into this game with the Cape League lead for 33 hits. And now sees a called strike 3. Second out in the home half of the 4th. It's the team leading 35th strikeout for Mike Canoe. And it brings up Kent Schmidt. How about that? Finally, also the first strikeout for Josh Butler. He's been tremendous, only the 1 hit allowed now through 3 2/3 innings. But it's been the Commodores who haven't been striking out often. It's New being the first victim. First pitch is a called strike on Kent Schmidt. Georgian through and through. Originally from Marietta, spent his freshman year at Georgia Southern before just finishing his first season at Georgia Tech. Now a rising junior and 20 years old. 0-1. Check swing from Schmidt, but the low pitch goes for ball one. Schmidt has 16 runs batted in on the season through 28 games played. That's tied for 7th most on Cape Cod. As Morales in scoring position at second. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th.
And the discipline is what really stands out about Kent Schmidt. Doesn't strike out a whole lot. Drives guys in. That's really the perfect guy you want in this 4 or 5 spot in the order.
14 walks to just 10 strikeouts this season for Schmidt. But got a .086 strikeout percentage. That's the 3rd lowest on Cape Cod amongst qualified batters. 2-1. Schmidt nubs it off the end of the bat, down the first baseline. Butler gets to it, throws it over to first. And it's in time, ahead of the throw. Morales is stranded over at second. Commodores still can't get a run across. It's 3-0 Wareham. We'll step aside, but send it to one of our own. Here's associate producer and Timmy Weiss to discuss a little bit more on the Commodores' recent errors in a segment filmed just yesterday. Timmy.
After last night's 6-5 setback at Bourne, Falmouth is currently tied for last place in the West with Hyannis. And one problem that's been continued throughout the season is that they're missing the easy plays.
The Commodores' fielding percentage has dropped under .970, second worst in the CCBL. On top of that, Doors shortstop Adrian Lopez is up to 8 errors this season, tied for the most of any player this summer. To make matters worse, things have only unraveled more since the All-Star break. Falmouth has committed 6 blunders in the past 2 games. Yesterday, all 3 came in the first 2 innings, and 2 of them were at the hands of Lopez.
With just 9 games to go in the Cape Cod Baseball League season and the playoffs also on the line, there's no mistaking it, the gloves got to get hot. Reporting from Gov Fuller Field, Timmy Weiss.
Thanks so much, Timmy. You mentioned that's been a big area of concern for the Commodores as of recently, and that's rang true through the first 4 innings in this game. 3 errors for the Commodores already as we welcome you back into the booth here at Gov Fuller Field. Alongside Andrew Delapiana, I'm Ryan Martin. Honored to be joined alongside you for Game 33 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. A 3-0 Wareham lead right now. And now we have the first appearance we see out of Jake Dorn, the rising redshirt junior at Miami.
Yeah, he got here just about a week ago from Florida. Big guy there on the bump, 6'4", 235 pounds. Making his second collegiate stop, was part of a JUCO at Lake Sumter in his first 2 seasons. But just really someone to kind of provide some stability to the back end of this bullpen. He's been in college for a couple of years. He's got plenty of experience. Now just looking to bring that to the table.
Already has some experience pitching in summer baseball this past summer. He was in the Valley League with the Harrison Turks down in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Pitched 4 games there, started 3 of them to a respectable sub-2.5 ERA through 18 1/3 innings pitched. 18 strikeouts to 13 walks. Gets the bump up to Cape Cod. And this is the part of the season, too, where you don't have many, if any, of those opening day roster pitchers. So it's GM Paul Aries, first year manager Jared Saltamaki. They need to get creative and see where some pitching staff, both bullpen-wise and starters, could really help this team heading into a potential playoff run.
And he was staying fresh, too. He would post some workout videos throughout on Twitter of him staying ready before he got up to Cape Cod and looking to just get more appearances. He had 11 this past season with the Hurricanes with that sub-2 ERA.
Follows up a respectable second appearance on Cape Cod for Reese Markham. And the first batter the lefty faces is Chris McHugh. NC State first baseman sees ball 1 go inside. As mentioned, the day is done for Reese Markham. Goes an inning and 2/3 pitched. Just the 1 hit. No earned runs, 1 strikeout, and nobody walked. Most impressive was that 3 up, 3 down, top of the 4th inning. It was a big moment as the Gatemen get retired in order after plating 3 an inning before. McHugh is 1 for 2 so far today. He struck out looking in the first inning and then doubled and scored in the third. Dorn's 2-1. McHugh ranked the top 50 first baseman mid-season by D1 Baseball. The NC State Wolfpack, and spending his freshman year at VCU, and now the Comac, New York, works to do his 23rd game played on Cape Cod. It's been a good meat and potatoes of this Wareham lineup so far between McHugh, and then we'll see Caden McDonald and Chase Cruson. As a full count walk is earned here by McHugh, so keep McHugh, McDonald, and Cruson 2 for 5 so far to start this day, with a pair of walks now.
And that has been the part of the order that has been most impressive for the Gatemen in this nice little stretch they've built over the last 2 weeks.
Here's Caden McDonald. Sees the first pitch from Dorn. How about that 12-6 curveball just atop the zone? That thing looked like it started above the helmet of McDonald. Rising redshirt sophomore at Florida is 0 for 1 so far today, a fly out to end the first. And then walked in the third, but then remember, was thrown out trying to go from second to home after the nice throw by Mike Anu, following the single for Hayden Yost. There's 2 new guys in the battery pairing between the new pitcher Dorn and the new catcher Eckelman. They take a moment to look at PitchCom before a foul tipped into the mitt for strike 2 to Caden McDonald.
Back-to-back changeups, McDonald very early on. So expect a fastball in this one, too.
Here it is from Dorn. He fools you, too, and fools McDonald. Again, the off-speed stuff works. It's his first strikeout on Cape Cod. The victim is Caden McDonald.
Took the words right out of my mouth. That is just really good pitch sequencing. That's what pitchers are taught. Guys are early on it. You speed them up, but why not throw one in the dirt, see if it goes chasing instead?
One out in the top of the 5th. Chris McHugh is the runner on first base after the leadoff walk. Falmouth chasing by 3 in Game 33 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. Here's the Rutgers left fielder and Chase Cruson. 1 for 2 so far today. Singled and was stranded in the second. Lined out in the third. Runner goes. It's called strike. Throw down from Eckelman is late. Goes as the first stolen base in this game for Chris McHugh.
The Gatemen have been running wild in this ball game on Mason Eckelman, who's kind of put the ball in his back pocket a couple times. These throws haven't exactly been on a line.
Now 51 stolen bases for Wareham on the season, just the 7th most on Cape Cod. There's a quick word from home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzell about Dorn addressing the batter and Cruson. Dorn's 1-1. And the off speed. Scooped on one hop by Ken Schmidt. He again waves off the pitcher, and Dorn takes it to the first base bag himself as Chris McHugh advances to third. Now 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning.
And once again, another good defensive effort by Kent Schmidt, or good amount of range to his right. A little bit of speed, too.
We've seen a lot of range and speed at shortstop so far today by Chris Ramirez. At Cal Baptist, and before this at bat even gets underway, they say there's a PitchCom violation. Now look around, it's actually going to go against the pitch clock, a pitch clock violation for ball 1. It's called strike on Ramirez. Batting out of the 6th spot so far today, 0 for 1. A ground out to Ryan Zuckerman at third and then was walked and stranded in the third. He's got the potential fourth run of this game in the form of Chris McHugh over at third base.
Really feels like, Ryan, if the Commodores want to stay in this ball game, with especially the way the offense has not been producing, you really cannot let that run from third score.
Big moment for Dorn. Is 2-1. Upstairs. Ramirez following up a great freshman season at Cal Baptist, where he was the first Lancer to be named Western Athletic Conference Freshman of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. We've already seen that glove at short a few times in this game. Jake Dorn's 3-ball, 1-strike pitch. Runs inside. It's a 5-pitch walk for Ramirez. Second walk of this inning issued by Dorn. Puts runners on the corners, both on via that free pass. McHugh over at third, and Ramirez at first. Still 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Ramirez looks like he's ready to go off of first with 2 outs. And Yost in. Doesn't go on the first pitch. And Florida center fielder sees ball 1.
Yeah, I really wonder what the play will be here from Ryan Smythe, the manager of the Gatemen. If he wants Ramirez to take off from first, kind of play that cat and mouse game. It's a good lead over there at first by Ramirez.
Sizable. Schmidt does hold him on.
Started about an average lead, and then, especially with the lefty on the mound too, you want to be a little bit more cautious over there at first.
Ramirez again into his 11th game played, does have 3 stolen bases. Runner does go on the called strike, but there's no throw down from Eckelman.
I think that's the smart play there from Eckelman. There's been a lot of defensive miscues from the Gatemen. I should say from the Commodores in this one. Might just trust your pitcher.
Trust is in Dorn as a 2-1 taken on the inner third. Fastball catches for strike 2. Yost 1 for 2 so far today. Had the 1-run single in the third. Looked to make it a 2-run single, but McDonald was thrown out at home. Now Jake Dorn, the Miami Hurricane, fires a 2-2, just skied straight up into the air by Hayden Yost. Second baseman Ostros takes a few strides to his right. Sees out number 3 drop into his glove. Jake Dorn impressive with some action on the base paths, but it's a second consecutive scoreless inning for the Gatemen. They're still up 3-0 on the Commodores as we enter the bottom of the 5th. Andrew Delapiano will be with you the rest of the way right here on Cape League TV.
There's a 0 chance that you'll want to miss our 0% for 72 months offer. For a limited time, CAT is offering 0% on the purchase of many new small excavators. That's 0% for better performance, 0% for next generation features.
Great machine. It's quite impressive.
0% for work tools too. But there's a 0% chance this offer will last. So contact Milton Cat before there's 0 time left.
I'm David McCann from Fairfield, Connecticut, and I'd like to give a special shout out to my parents.
Enjoy all the action of the Cape Cod Baseball League this summer by downloading the Cape League TV app on your mobile device and favorite TV streaming platform. You can now watch the Doors on your Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android TVs. Cape League TV provides live and on-demand coverage of all games and featured content from the nation's best summer collegiate baseball league. Get in the game with Cape League TV. Look around our press box here at Gulf Fuller Field. Some wonderful gentlemen taking care of business around here to provide you beautiful shots around this ballpark, as well as our producer, Dan Papillo, and our director, Kyle Kaima. It's still Josh Butler on the mound for Wareham, and he has been phenomenal. In just 38 pitches, just the one hit allowed in 4 innings of work. As he's making his way to the second time of the order here in the bottom of the 5th, with the Gatemen in front 3-0, and Ryan Zuckerman leads things off.
What's been impressive, too, is you see only the 1 strikeout for Butler, but that's because he's getting a lot of these Commodores bats to ground out or fly out in the first or second pitch throw. They go aggressive once more here. Zuckerman on the ground to Randall in the hole. He makes the play. Here's that what you're talking about, Ryan. These hitters have been aggressive in this one. And if you're Zuckerman, you can't believe that hop that just was taken off of the mound. Went directly into the glove of the second baseman, Braden Randall. Thought that one would get through the middle gap for a leadoff single. But instead, it's just out number 1.
Falmouth still looking for that spark on offense. As we just mentioned, the 1 hit. That belongs to Morales. Last inning off that infield single where it was a slow grounder to the first base side. Butler, instead of tossing it to first for the easy out, decides to go for the tag and can't make it. As here is Adrian Lopez. He goes after the first one as well. Grounded out to shortstop and Chris Ramirez his first time around. Lopez, one of those guys kind of symbolic of how this game has gone for the Commodores in their offensive struggles. As he takes a breaking ball for a called strike. Been about a week since he didn't have a game with a strikeout. Doesn't have one here, looking to continue at, and spoils it back.
And again, I think the struggles for the Commodores have been well articulated, whether it's the strikeouts or the errors. This is a baseball team that understands the ups and downs of a 40-league Cape League season. I think Lopez really embodies that well, too, especially with his patience and what we've heard from him with your conversation pregame before yesterday.
And he's a confident guy, no doubt. I mean, he should be. He had a tremendous last season at USC. Basically saved him with that walk-off 2-run double against Washington in the Big Ten tournament. On the breaking ball here, tagged out to right field. Long run for Turner down the line. He makes the play on the run for out number 2.
Lopez is a guy learning a new position as well. Saw a lot of time at first base for the Trojans. Now an everyday shortstop for the Commodores. And just getting back to ball, especially in this game as he goes opposite way to Turner. But nothing yet on the scoreboard.
2 up, 2 gone for Mason Eckelman. A hard line out to center field his first time around. Came off the bat at 95 miles per hour. In just his second game with these Commodores. Went 0 for 3 on Tuesday with a pair of strikeouts in the 6-2 loss to Katuitt. 49 starts this past spring with the Buckeyes. A massive increase from just 14 games as a freshman. On a line, caught at short by Ramirez. He's been busy over there for his second putout unassisted. Commodores go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th. It is still 3-0 Gatemen as we roll along to the top of the 6th here on Cape League TV.
Hi, I'm Jim Murray, owner of Falmouth's historic clam shack, now Jim's Clam Shack. Located on scenic Falmouth Harbor, Jim's Clam Shack is a destination for the best seafood and sunsets on the Cape. We're open 7 days a week, so stop by for lunch or join us for dinner on the rooftop deck. Bring the entire family to try our wide selection of seafood and kid-friendly option. We deliver the freshest products to your plates daily. Jim's Clam Shack, proud supporter of the Falmouth Commodores.
Hi, I'm Michael Kasparian, President of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is here for the benefit of the whole community. Whether you're a local business or a visitor, Falmouth has endless offerings, from its beautiful beaches and historical sites to its local shopping and eateries. The Chamber bridges the 8 villages, providing visitors with all the tools to make their trip one to remember. Our visitor center is located in downtown Falmouth, just off of Main Street. Come by and meet our team. The Falmouth Chamber of Commerce, your community connection.
I'm Adrian Lopez. I'm an infielder from the University of Southern California,
and you're watching Commodore Baseball on Cape League TV.
Through 5 here from Gov Fuller Field, with the Commodores trailing the Gatemen 3-0. But there's other baseball going around here on Cape Cod as we take a look around the Cape. A couple of scorers from around this league, where Harwich a 9-8 victory over Brewster. That ball game got started at 4 o'clock today, but the big games we are watching for, Ryan, is in this West Division. Chatham in front of Hyannis 3-2 in the top of the 5th, and Katuitt clinging to a 2-0 lead against Bourne in the bottom of the 5th.
Of course, you're rooting for the Anglers out of the East Division to pick up 2 points and prevent Hyannis from getting 2 more points in this close West Division race. Also benefit for a win for Bourne, as battle between Katuitt and Falmouth will get a little bit closer with 7 games to go.
Commodores still in the basement of the West Division with just about 7 games to go before the postseason starts up on August 5th. Second inning on the job for Commodores reliever Jake Dorn in his Cape League debut. Facing off against 8-9-1 of the Gatemen lineup, starting with Ares Rivera. He pokes one out to deep center field. New racing back in front of the wall. Reaches up and he makes the grab across the fence. No jump needed, but that was dangerous territory from getting out.
But the deepest part of the park as well. You saw Mike Anu have to pull down a couple of flyouts very deep into left center field last night against Brewster. Now does it for the first time here against Wareham. 384 feet off the bat, just in front of the 390-foot wall.
That can be tough too, especially for those outfielders here at the Gov, where there's no warning track as well, so you really have to kind of feel your way throughout the outfield of where that fence is, and you did a good job on that one.
That's a benefit that you see, though, for Mike Anu. When you bring the experience in, again, this is the 28th game on Cape Cod for Mike Anu in a Commodores uniform. Starting to understand how to play that wall.
Leadoff man retired. Van Sheehan taps one on the ground of the second baseman, Osterhaus. A lot of speed. Did he get there? No, he didn't. Final stretch from Sheehan at the last second, but Osterhaus quick enough for out number 2.
That was a bullet toss from second to first. Osterhaus to Schmidt. Not a long way to go, but Osterhaus understood both the speed running over there that it was had by Sheehan, and then just how much time he had, and that was not much of it for out number 2.
Back to the top of the lineup for the Gatemen with Braden Randall. Picked up his league-leading 9th double of the season in that 3rd inning. It was earlier this summer that Randall announcing his return to Ole Miss. It's been kind of an interesting landscape, Ryan, where you have to tell social media you're coming back for a year with all the portal announcements that kind of come through.
I think it's twofold. I think it's where college athletics is right now with so much movement. But it's also what you got to think of what the purpose of that post is for. He's reaching out to the Ole Miss fans and saying, hey, I'm back. I'm excited to represent University of Mississippi. We just saw Adrian Lopez do that as well.
Yep.
Non-biased, one of the coolest type videos that we've seen.
Talking about Lopez or Randall?
Lopez's.
I don't think I've checked that one out yet.
You should. Worth checking out on his Instagram for sure. But again, it's crazy that college athletics has come to that. But it's also a way to say, hey, spring 2026 will be here before you know it. Yep. I'm excited to wear your team's colors again.
That's true. Takes 3-0 all the way here. Had probably his best season so far with Ole Miss in that sophomore campaign. Hit over 300 down the stretch for a team that made it into the NCAA tournament and hosting a regional. Missed about 2 weeks after a fractured finger that split open during batting practice. And, missed a little bit of time, came back in the later half of the season to make that last season push for the Rebels. Actually hit his only home run of the season in that Oxford Regional. Full count here from Dorn. The pitch Breaking ball inside. And it is a 2-out walk for Braden Randall.
The right fielder from Michigan, number 14, Colby Turner.
Third free pass allowed by Jake Dorn in this one. As his job right now is to get in, get out, give his offense not a lot of time to rest so they can swing the bat.
And that's what the Miami Hurricane did in his first inning of work in the Cape Cod Baseball League. That came just an inning ago. He did work through, again, you mentioned allowing those 2 walks to McHugh and Ramirez. Didn't allow a Gateman batter to score, though, yet, and keep this a 3-0 Wareham lead.
Checks over at Randall on first. Here's Colby Turner. Heard that cool story earlier about his dad being in the Surfers Hall of Fame from a third member of our crew, Ben Haller. It's funny, his dad actually started to surf when he was 5 years old. He bought a $5 board with a duct tape nose, and that's how he got started. Randall takes off from first. It's a called strike. Throw down to second, and not in time. All right, of course we have the 4 major sports we like to consider ourselves somewhat decent at, but if there's like an extracurricular one you'd want to try out, what would it be? I'm talking your pickleballs, your ultimate frisbees. What would you want to do?
I love ultimate frisbee.
Yeah?
Big on ultimate frisbee, would definitely be there.
You like how they call it frolf?
Frolf.
Yeah, you ever heard that one before?
Frisbee golf.
Yeah.
There you go. 2-year member of the Ultimate Frisbee Club at the University of Maryland.
Oh, really? Good for you.
Stuck with club flag football, though, so that would be up there for me, too.
Flag
Those
football.
are my 2 sports.
That's a fun one.
What about you?
Maybe flag football? That sounds like a fun one.
Flag football is always fun at the University of Maryland. The club team will play at CQ Stadium, where the football team plays.
Okay.
Tuesday and Thursday nights. That is, you get to play under the lights, the same action where you see Big Ten football. I think surfing would be pretty cool if I got a little bit better. I don't know if we can surf the beaches in Falmouth as much. Have you tried it?
No, I don't know if those waves are big enough for us to get going on that. We don't have a lot of time left here either, so it might be something we have to get in quickly if we want a chance at doing that.
Right. Off day Monday.
We'll definitely utilize it well. Check at Randall at second. He's back in safely. 1-2 count to Colby Turner, who started his collegiate career out in California at San Diego State before making the move to Michigan. Doran's 1-2. Breaking ball. Good take from Turner. Even better block from Eckelman to keep it in front of him. Turner has reached on 2 errors in this ball game. One by Zuckerman, one by Lopez. Commodores have 3 total tonight. 2-2. Runner takes off. And it hits the elbow of Turner. It's a hit by pitch, and Randall has to return to second, as that is a dead ball. That got kind of close to Ryan to hitting the bat of Turner.
Yeah, it was a check swing by Turner from the righty box. I didn't know if that would go off the knob of the bat, but it does hit him on the elbow at 86 miles an hour. It's a second consecutive free pass given by the lefty and Dorn with the walk to Randall, and then the hit by pitch to Turner.
So back-to-back free passes. Commodores hoping to not allow any more damage with 2 outs. Quick time on the field as Mason Eckelman readjusts the belt. We've all been there.
Sometimes you just need a second.
Yeah. Let's Randall on second, Turner at first. Still in the top 6 here from Falmouth, with the Commodores trailing the Gatemen 3-0. And what feels like a pivotal West Division matchup is now Eckelman, after a little bit of delay, now wants a conversation with Dorn. Commodores have one more game tomorrow before the off day on Monday. Be out in Orleans to take on the Firebirds. They're currently in front of the Red Sox 8-5 in the bottom of the fifth.
It's our first trip to Eldridge Park, or since, let's say, game 3 of the season?
I believe it was 3, yeah.
It was a 9-run inning for the Commodores that propelled Falmouth to victory. That's an offense that Falmouth's trying to find again at this moment, game 33 of the season. Because that hitting has just been so contagious for Falmouth this season. When it's on, it just hasn't been on recently for the Commodores.
A team at one point had the most runs scored on Cape Cod has dwindled down into the middle of the pack. Pickoff moved to second. Osterhaus, nice play to keep it in the infield. Commodores offensively tonight, just 1 for 16. Dorn fires to second, but Randall tricked him. And he heads down to third on the failed pickoff attempt. Dorn's mind kind of got caught there in between of he didn't want to get a balk called, and he was already kind of mid-throw to second.
I think that's just your mind's on autopilot mode for Dorn. You flip your hips, do a 180, and look over at second. You expect Randall to try to dive back in safely at second, but he doesn't. He says, I'll call the bluff and go to third.
1-0 popped up. McHugh in the middle of the infield. Zuckerman makes the play. Loses about every piece of equipment in the possible except for the glove for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Commodores still looking for some offense. Trailing 3-0 to the Wareham Gatemen here from Gulf Fuller Field.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just one click away.
It's an honor to support the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store, located at 147 T-Ticket Highway, and try a slice today.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
On behalf of the Cape Cod Baseball League, we would like to thank the following league partners for their continued support: 99 Restaurants, Badger Sports, The Baldwin Group, Bluebird Dennisport, Bridgewater State University, Cape Destinations. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Welcome back here to Gulf Fuller Field, bottom of the 6th. We'll get you an update on the recent MLB draft signees for the Commodores, as the MLB draft took place just about a week ago. Third member of our group, Ben Heller, has more. Ben?
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew. This coming Monday in 2 days, that'll mark 2 weeks since the MLB draft, where we saw 3 Falmouth Commodores from this 2025 Doors team hear their names called. Good news, all 3 of them after 2 weeks have been signed, and they got some hefty signing bonuses. Caden Eschman, going in round 12, got $175,000 to sign with the Cardinals. Robbie Porco in round 14, signing with the Dodgers, got just below $150,000, around $147,500. And then signing above slot in the 17th round, Grayson Sagne going to Houston, he got $150,000. The top money making, though, Gavin Keelan from the 2024 Doors team. He went 13th overall, $5.2 million for his draft. Back to you guys.
I was going to say, I need Keelan back in Falmouth. Maybe some of those 2025 guys in Porco, Eschman, and Sonia. Congrats to all those guys. Maybe a shipwrecked dinner is owed on them?
Oh, that's absolutely on them. That is not even a question. 1-2 count to Tristan Salinas. Josh Butler still out there for the Gatemen. Ryan, if you had a signing bonus, let's say the first thing you'd purchase, what would it be?
Something for the parents, something for my mom, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a cop-out answer, but either it's a nice dinner in Boston or something.
I'm with you on that one, yeah.
I'm a big repay, gratitude, and thank you guys.
Agreed.
So anything to show that appreciation.
I know that is not a fake answer from you as well on air. That is a genuine answer.
There's people who've put us in great positions to even just be sitting here.
Of course.
At the Falmouth Press Box. It's great to have my mom, the rest of my family in attendance today for this game to check out our booth.
Called strike 3 on Tristan Salinas to begin things in the 6th. And it's just the second strikeout for Josh Butler. And we've kind of beat a dead horse about this one, but balls have been in play. Defense has made those plays, and Butler has just done a good job of letting the defense kind of trust him behind him.
It's been a great Wareham defense as well. You think of the middle infield pairing of Ramirez at short and Randall at second. They made a few phenomenal plays thus far to keep this game scoreless for Falmouth.
Thing too about Ryan Smythe, the manager for the Gatemen in his second season, kind of goes against the grain a little bit, where traditionally you see guys more so on pitch counts of 4 or 5 innings of the work, but Josh Butler, even look at Caden McDonald a couple nights ago, guys going into the 6th inning of work, sometimes even the 7th as well. They just really ride these starting pitchers and let them go. 1-1 to Osterhaus. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Said third base umpire Matt Kane.
It's been an impressive summer so far for Butler, but he just keeps working on it. Again, 5 1/3 innings of 1-hit ball. Just those 2 strikeouts. He's dropped his ERA from 1.47 to a 1.17.
That'll help as well. Another backwards K to Osterhaus. And there are 2 outs in the bottom of this frame.
Back to the top of the order for your Falmouth Commodores, the right fielder from the University of Maryland, number 2, Antonio Morales.
Top of the lineup for the Commodores. Here's the guy that is the only hit in this one for Falmouth, and Antonio Morales. And that ball didn't even leave the infield. These guys have fouled out of play.
It's the only hit and only base runner for this Commodores team overall. Butler retires the first 9 batters he faces, then the single to Morales, and since then, he's retired the last 8 Commodore batters.
And his placement has also been very impressive, especially with the off-speed. And it's been low, it's been away. Nothing for these Falmouth hitters to really pull into the outfield. He is 0-2 on the way. Just inside.
This game so far looking eerily similar to what Katuit and Peyton Manka did to Wareham last night. Manka works into the 6th inning for a 2-1 Kettleers win, and Wareham was just 2 hit in that game, and Gatemen only mustered 1 walk earned as well.
I think the frustrating too for the Gatemen as well is they only had 2 hits. A hard liner to Randall. Doesn't really have to move too much for route number 3. Another 1-2-3 frame for the Commodores. That's back-to-back frames. We are through 2/3 of this ball game. The Gatemen still in control, 3-0, as we roll along to the 7th here from the Gov on Cape League TV.
Hi, my name is Matt Burgess, General Manager here at Falmouth Country Club. We have a unique 27-hole public golf course with a beautiful layout that is family-oriented. Kids play free here at Falmouth Country Club. Getting on the course is quick and easy with our app. You can book tee times, get yardages with GPS, use our interactive scorecard, track your stats, and receive exclusive in-app offers. Falmouth Country Club is a true Cape Cod classic and a local family favorite.
See you on the course.
Hi, I'm Michael Kasparian, President of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is here for the benefit of the whole community. Whether you're a local business or a visitor, Falmouth has endless offerings, from its beautiful beaches and historical sites to its local shopping and eateries. The Chamber bridges the 8 villages providing visitors with all the tools to make their trip one to remember. Our visitor center is located in downtown Falmouth, just off of Main Street. Come by and meet our team. The Falmouth Chamber of Commerce, your community connection.
Hi, I'm Zach Johnston from Cumberland, Maine. I'd like to give a special shout out to my host parents, Paula and John, for being great people.
Homer trying to bring the energy up here at Gov Fuller Field. It has been a deflating one here for the Commodores, especially on offense with just the one hit in that lone base runner. Top 7 from the Gov. Commodores trailing the Gatemen 3-0. Back alongside my partner Ryan Martin, I'm Andrew Del Piano. Commodores continue to ride this bullpen for another frame as Jake Dorn makes his 3rd inning of work. He has yet to allow a hit, 3 walks though to 1 strikeout. Faces Caden McDonald to get things going in this frame. And it's really been that one part of the ball game, Ryan, back in the top of the 3rd where Falmouth made 2 errors. A couple of extra base hits for the Gatemen as well. That's really been the only offense for Wareham on the other side. Breaking ball rolled over foul.
Yeah, those 3rd inning errors came on back-to-back batters' face as well. Remember, Braden Randall earned himself a double, but then Mike Anu kicks the ball in center field to move Randall up to 3rd base. And then the next batter, it's Colby Turner reaching on an error for Adrian Lopez at shortstop. It was a 3-run, 3-hit, and 2 errors by the Commodores as part of that lead for Wareham. That's been where all the runs have come from.
Those 3 errors are now put the Commodores up to 1st place in Cape Cod in that category with 46 of them. Good spot from Dorn, just misses outside. McDonald 0 for 2 in this one. A walk back in the 3rd. Was thrown out at home on a great feed from Mike Anu out in center. Breaking ball, swing and a miss from McDonald. 2nd strikeout for Jake Dorn. I think the way too, Ryan, the way Dorn danced out of that jam in the 6th with runners at 1st and 3rd. Also impressive as well.
Yeah, I think we've seen a couple of new Commodore faces come onto the mound and have success finding their way through jams. I thought what we saw out of Reese Markham in that one-hit outing was impressive. And Dorn finding ways to just put up 3 consecutive zeros on the board for Wareham should be noted too.
He knows his job is to really just kind of get this team a little bit of spark. Going to be interesting too, Ryan, to see if Josh Butler comes out for another inning for the Gatemen as well. He's only got 60 pitches through 6 innings. Grusin rockets one to right. Hooking foul down the line. Morales going to give it a look, but it's out of play. One for 3 ball game for Chase Grusin. Single and a stolen base in the 2nd. Two balls, 1 strike. Talk about the other sports, if you will, Ryan, from our last conversation. Grusin's got a YouTube golf channel.
Yep.
Common Golf Club. It's getting up there in subscribers. It's over 800 at the moment.
Forget these athletes, they love being content creators nowadays too.
Feels like you gotta put your image out there somewhere.
Saw 2-year born brave Cam Kojal. Is it Cam Kojal Outdoors?
Yep.
Fishing, nature, all that great stuff. A lot of these guys have that personality more than just baseball players. How can you not love a golf channel too?
I mean, you know I need it. I think you might need it as well sometimes. Maybe. You've been working on it.
Telling you, it's that talent course at Falmouth Country Club, getting us right here.
Liner up the middle, drops in for a base hit. Second one of the night for Chase Crusom. That was not a golf swing, that was a hard hit line drive up the middle.
The shortstop from contact is number 2, Chris Ramirez.
One out in the top of the 7th. Runner on first. Here's Chris Ramirez. He is 0 for 1 with an RBI, pair of walks as well. He's been a great mid-season addition for these Gatemen. Entering today, batting .500. And it's been kind of moved around in the back half of this lineup. He's been in the 9th spot, 7, 6. He finds himself back in that 6th spot today's lineup for Ryan Smythe. Runner from first takes off, hit and run, doesn't work, foul back.
Yeah, just working himself up in the lineup too. Working on a 4-game hit streak right now. He batted 9th on Tuesday, 7th on Thursday, 6th yesterday and could do it, and he'll be staying in that spot here for the Gatemen.
Spent the early part of the season as a true freshman at Cal Baptist in that 9th spot before moving to the leadoff, and feel like you kind of have to when you hit .350 across 57 games. Taylor made for 2 on the ground to Osterhaus. The flip on to short for 1. The turn from Lopez in time. 4-6-3 equals 2 for the Commodores defense. Is that the spark Falmouth needs going into the bottom of the 7th? And it is time to stretch here from Gov Fuller Field. We'll take you to another rendition of America the Beautiful.
Fans, please welcome back Ava Mastroianni to sing America the Beautiful, written by American poet and composer Catherine Lee Bates, right here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Ava, whenever you're ready.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesty above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again for Ava Mastroianni. That was truly beautiful, Ava.
Introducing Open Cape, the local nonprofit internet service provider in this region. Open Cape's fast and reliable network is 100% fiber optic, providing affordable internet connectivity. To learn more, visit opencape.org and always speak with a live Open Cape representative. Open Cape, providing choice and competition for your home or business and the official internet provider of your Falmouth Commodores.
We are Open Cape.
Hi, my name is Matt Burgess, General Manager here at Falmouth Country Club. We have a unique 27-hole public golf course with a beautiful layout that is family-oriented. Kids play free here at Falmouth Country Club. Getting on the course is quick and easy with our app. You can book tee times, get yardages with GPS, use our interactive scorecard, track your stats, and receive exclusive in-app offers. Falmouth Country Club is a true Cape Cod classic and a local family favorite.
See you on the course.
Hi, I'm Justin Osterhaus from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'd like to give a special shout out to my parents and my brother, Becky and J.D. Osterhaus, and Brady Osterhaus.
Commodores thankful for a call to the bullpen for the Gatemen, with Falmouth trailing 3-0 as we go into the bottom of the 7th. And that's because the starter, Josh Butler, was absolutely phenomenal in 6 innings of work. Just 1 base runner allowed, and he did so effectively as well, Ryan, with just the 60 pitches.
Yeah, I mean, just making Commodores batters pay. See, there are 60 pitches, just a 1 hit allowed to Antonio Morales. Retires the first 9 batters he faces, and then sits down the final 9 as well. Just a great day today for the Arizona State Sun Devil.
Now it's Lazaro Calera who gets the baseball for the Gatemen, making his 8th appearance on Cape Cod. That ERA a little high, but the more concerning thing, Ryan, is that WHIP is nearing 2. And it feels like maybe an arm the Commodores are looking to see out of the bullpen if they want to get back in this ball game. Carl Schmidt to lead things off for these Commodores. He's 0 for 2. Schmidt gets the first one, breaks it into center field for a base hit. That is just what the doctor ordered for Carl Schmidt, who likes to go after that first pitch.
And almost a perfect piece of contact as well for Carl Schmidt. Pitch that could have jammed him up on the inside should he wanted to swing. Again, that's only the first pitch against Schmidt. But perfectly brings the bat around quickly enough to barrel it up and send it just into left center field.
Comes off the bat at 101 miles per hour for Schmidt. Just the 2nd hit of the night for Falmouth. Here's Mike Anu. He takes a look at a called strike.
How about the change for Anu as well? 0 for 2 so far on the day. Tosses the batting gloves on. Those aren't just any batting gloves. Those are All-Star Game starter batting gloves he got on Saturday.
Changing the mojo up just a little bit.
Remind people who you are.
He had a backward strikeout. In the 4th, he tags this one out to right center field. Long run for Turner. Leaps up and makes the grab. Took a straight line angle at that in the right center gap and makes the nice grab for out number 1. One gone, 1 on, bottom 7. Commodores trailing the Gatemen 3-0 in this crucial West Division matchup. Meeting number 4 between these two teams. The Commodores just a game out of a postseason spot.
Yeah, I think it's a bit understated too when you discuss. All right, Falmouth for the first time all season, bottom of the West Division all alone at the league low, 27 points. A win here, especially where it looks like Hyannis will pick up a loss today versus Chatham, that ties you right back with the Harbor Hawks. Still 7 games to go.
Still one more meeting with the Harbor Hawks as well in this season series. But, Ryan, you look at the negative side of that, Hyannis has taken the first 4 meetings between Falmouth and Hyannis. Kent Schmidt is 0 for 2 in this ball game. Carl Schmidt is the runner on first. Breaking ball just outside for ball 2.
I think you look at the schedule overall, and at Orleans tomorrow, it starts the first a streak of 3 of 4 games that you play against East Division opponents to wrap that up. And then August rolls around, you get at Bourne, at Wareham, and versus Katuitt. Those will be 2 huge games. I think about the first at Durham Park, and then the third against the Kettleers.
Schmidt rockets one out to center field. Rivera back. He makes the grab as well on the run. Rivera and Turner. Tremendous defensive plays there, meeting in the middle. And that has been pretty symbolic all game long, Ryan, where balls have been hard hit out to the outfield, but that's just baseball for you. That one off the bat at 97 from Schmidt. Last chance in the inning for the Commodores. It's Ryan Zuckerman. Another breaking ball to Zuck. That one's a called strike. Zuckerman 0 for 2. A ground out in the 5th. Bouncer in the dirt, blocked by Rivera. Throw down to second, hops over Randall at second. So Schmidt advances up 90 feet.
Throw down from Rivera, getting away from the second baseman Randall. You knew that Carl Schmidt takes the turn around second. He wanted to be the first Commodore today to reach third base. Smart decision, though, by Schmidt with 2 outs in the inning to stay at second.
Puts a runner in scoring position for Zuckerman. Commodores 0 for 2 with runners in that spot tonight. The worst mark on Cape Cod with runners at second or third, batting just .213 with 99 strikeouts. Short lead off a second for Schmidt. And a long look in for Calera. Hitters count for Zuckerman. And that spark from Schmidt at the top of the inning, or I should say, to start off this inning. To get that leadoff single, some well-hit balls by New and Schmidt. Can Zuckerman continue that trend? It's outside for ball 4. Commodores have a pair of base runners in the first walk allowed tonight by the Wareham pitching staff.
From USC, number 18, Adrian Lopez.
So the potential game-tying run comes up to home plate, and Adrian Lopez. He is 0 for 2. Swing and a miss from Lopez.
This is a potential get-right spot for Lopez. 2 for his last 15 across the last 4 games. Did have 2 hits last time he played against his Wareham team. Seeing this as a battle of body language and trying to stay composed with 2 outs.
Lopez just that average dropping out at .207 with just 7 RBIs now this summer. As he's down the count, no balls, 2 strikes. That strikeout has been his bugaboo. Had 5 on Friday, 3 on Monday, 3 on Thursday. Looking to punch home that first run for the Commodores tonight. 0-2. Breaking ball stays alive.
It's a good spoil away by Adrian. Some of his best at-bats, Andrew, that we've seen are when he just gets a piece of it, staying alive, getting a pitcher to throw 8, 9 pitches. Even if it gets him out, it's still productive. Here, though, again, 2 outs. Just looking to barrel anything up.
Calera, long look in, finally has a sign he likes from Rivera. Another 0-2. Fastball taken outside. Schmidt at second, Zuckerman at first, 2 gone, bottom 7. Commodores trailing 3-0. Just have 2 hits in this ball game, and just their third base runner as well. Swing and a miss in the dirt for strike 3. Rivera tags out Lopez, and the threat is extinguished for the Commodores. Through 7 here from Gov Fuller Field, the Gatemen still leading 3-0. Taking another short break here on Cape League TV. Be right back.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just 1 click away.
It's an honor to support the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store, located at 147 T-Ticket Highway, and try a slice today.
Hi, I'm Michael Kasparian, president of the Falmouth Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is here for the benefit of the whole community. Whether you're a local business or a visitor, Falmouth has endless offerings, from its beautiful beaches and historical sites to its local shopping and eateries. The Chamber bridges the 8 villages, providing visitors with all the tools to make their trip one to remember. Our visitor center is located in downtown Falmouth, just off of Main Street. Come by and meet our team. The Falmouth Chamber of Commerce, your community connection.
I'm Trevor Baumler, right-handed pitcher from TCU, and you're watching Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
Time running out on the Commodores in this ball game as we roll along to the top of the 8th. With the Gatemen in front, 3-0 in meeting number 4 between these two teams. They'll meet one more time. The second to final day of the regular season on August 2nd. That playoff race will hopefully be even closer than it already is in the final couple of games here the regular season. Jake Doran still on relief for Falmouth. He's been pretty good so far. 3 innings out of the bullpen, 1 hit allowed. Been scoreless. 3 walks though. That's been the kind of the only concern. Aiden Yost to lead things off in this frame for the Gatemen.
I think this is a bit of a longer appearance than maybe we expected in the Cape Cod League debut for Jake Dorn. Again, he was a short usage guy with the Hurricanes this past spring in Coral Gables. 11 games, just 13 2/3 innings pitched. Became more of an extensive use guy though in Harrisonburg, again in the Valley League earlier this summer. With 4 appearances, 3 starts, it was 18 1/3 innings.
So you wonder what kind of role he's going to carve out here in his kind of short time with Falmouth, if he will be more so that long reliever, or maybe if we trickle down the final couple of games, he does earn the start.
I think that's exactly what you see. I think of like a Jaden Waiwoda out of Holy Cross. Comes in a couple appearances in relief after being a mid-season signee, and all of a sudden he becomes part of the rotation. That could be the trajectory for Dorn. You don't want to overstate things or go too crazy just based on his first 3 innings on Cape Cod.
The starting pitching was kind of the biggest thing that's been depleted throughout the summer. You think of guys like Caden Eschman and Grayson Saunier, guys who Ben mentioned earlier have signed to MLB organizations. But those were guys that were tremendous in their time here at Falmouth, and that's just kind of the nature of how Cape Cod baseball works.
I was going to say, that's something that all 10 Cape League teams are dealing with right now. Some pitchers, it does make more sense than others in terms of looking at their spring innings and their professional prospects.
Schmidt corrals a ground ball, steps on the bag. He's been busy over there with a couple of unassisted putouts. Even thinking about a team like Wareham, where they lost Levi Clark, who is phenomenal for them. He left about 2 weeks ago, just before the All-Star game. He felt like he was top 5 in just about every offensive category possible.
There's actually a really good anecdote about this from Chatham Anglers manager Dennis Cook. He was speaking with Anglers broadcaster Jake Klein on their pregame show, and Cook was adamant and honest about saying, like, this is not the way he sees it going. This is a different world of college athletics. He understands that. But the ins and the outs, too, for a manager, you got to really shape your roster, knowing around guys who want to be here, want to develop in the best of the best summer collegiate baseball leagues. And all that roster turnover makes it tough to really develop camaraderie and a unit with a team.
Also, you think about even that being a symbol of like how college baseball is now, where guys are in and out every single different season. Now, of course, you have that one continuous roster throughout in the spring, but that's kind of a huge umbrella, if you will, of that entire conversation. Rivera pops it up into short right field. Morales in, makes the catch.
I think it comes down to, again, just understanding the guys you're adding to the roster, too. That's what Dennis Cook was big about in that quick conversation. And Chatham, of knowing that if you're a guy who only pitches 15 innings at school in the spring, you can be here for pretty much the entire summer if the innings allow. And the same thing with position players. A guy like Levi Clark, again, understanding that everyone has their own path, and the summer is their own to be ready to get back to school in the fall. But again, this is still, at the end of the day, the best competition that you can face in the best summer collegiate baseball.
Absolutely. 2 gone, top 8 for Vance Sheehan. He is 0 for 3 out of the 9 spot tonight. called strike down 0-2. He was tremendous in his first 2 seasons at USC Upstate, where he hit 14 home runs, 76 RBIs there, batted well over 300. And now going to Miami, where his future teammate now faces him.
Yep.
A 2 from Dorn. Way up and out. Right down the heart of the plate, called strike 3 from Dorn. He has gone 4 scoreless innings out of the bullpen as he continues to keep a 3 on the board for the Gatemen. How can the Commodores respond offensively, though, to get him some help? We'll have to find out on the other side as we go into the bottom of the 8th with the Commodores down 3-0.
You'll always be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at Compass Real Estate.
Hi, I'm Jim Murray, owner of Falmouth's historic clam shack, now Jim's Clam Shack. Located on scenic Falmouth Harbor, Jim's Clam Shack is a destination for the best seafood and sunsets on the Cape. We're open 7 days a week, so stop by for lunch or join us for dinner on the rooftop deck. Bring the entire family to try our wide selection of seafood and kid-friendly option. We deliver the freshest products to your plates daily. Jim's Clam Shack, proud supporter of the Falmouth Commodores.
What's up? I'm Kent Schmidt, first base from Georgia Tech, and you're watching Cape League TV.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. Commodores trail 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's take a look at the road ahead coming up for these Commodores. As Ryan, that is your final set of the schedule that next week after the day in Orleans on Sunday, but some big divisional matchups on that Wednesday against Hyannis, Bourne on Friday, Wareham Saturday, Katuitt Sunday. That's really your spots for the division.
All right, and every game means 2 points again. So those games against Orleans, YD, Chatham, of course you still need to really lock into those games as potential opportunities to pick up 2 points. It is a little bit sweeter and more impactful in the standings when you look at those remaining games against West Division opponents. This is already, partner, a quick end of the season. You only got 7 guaranteed opportunities left. I hope that's what that Commodores dugout and first-year manager Jared Saltamaki is realizing right now.
Well, they got 7, 8, 9 due up in the bottom of the 8th to face a new pitcher for the Gatemen, TJ Salagater, the rising junior from Louisville, making his 7th appearance on Cape Cod. He has been phenomenal. A sub-1 ERA, has allowed just 1 earned run in 10 2/3 innings, all coming out of the bullpen. And the Commodores will start things off with a pinch hitter. Robert Harrison, he pinch hits for Mason Eckelman. So Bear comes off the bench, makes his 21st appearance, a .278 hitter, rising junior from Texas A&M. He goes after the first one and punches it foul. And the numbers speak for themselves for Shalagadol. Harrison got the start last night as well. A 2-for-4 effort, the only Commodore who had a multi-hit ball game, in which, similar to last night, Ryan, those offensive struggles continue.
Yeah, when hitting is contagious, it certainly is for this Commodores team, but when they can't find that first spark, it's
somewhere where they just can't get it to go, and that's been the case so far versus Brewster yesterday, and then hosting Wareham today as part of this 2-game homestand.
Just the 2 hits so far as Rivera, quick word out with his relief pitcher. It was just 1 inning of work for Lazaro Calera, where he allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. But Shalagater had a solid past season with Louisville, where he went 17 appearances. Just north of a 5 ERA. He did go 3 2/3 shutout innings against Florida State in late April. That was his best performance of the season. Now, and even at 2 balls, 2 strikes to Harrison. Looking to be that spark you just mentioned to get this team going. Garrett Saltalamacchia electing to go to the bench to try to change the fortune.
And expect that to continue as well with the count running full on Harrison. No Tristan Salinas on the on-deck circle. Instead, that's Caden Brumbaugh, who started the last 3 games at Salinas' defensive position of left field.
Well, there you go. Full count to Harrison. Pitch is a called strike 3 from Merzel. Harrison in the backwards K. He's out number 1.
Pitching for your Falmouth Commodores, the left fielder from Nebraska, number 24, Caden Brumbaugh.
Another pinch hitter for Jared Saltalamacchia. He goes with the rising redshirt senior from Oklahoma in Caden Brumbaugh. Makes his 4th appearance on Cape Cod. Went 0 for 4 with a strikeout last night. The loss to Brewster.
Interesting guy from Edmond, Oklahoma. Started at Oklahoma State and goes to Nebraska. Now goes to the Cowboys' rival in Oklahoma.
He had a really solid season this past year for the Cornhuskers, where he hit .309, 18 doubles as well. Went 2 for 2 in his Commodore debut on Tuesday, but it's gone 0 for 6 since.
One of my favorite stories talking with Caden so far, understanding his living situation going into Oklahoma. He's right now living with a host family. It's him and Katuit's Caden Johnson, who's also an Oklahoma Sooner, getting to know each other before they get to Norman.
Good guy to learn from. Johnson has been stellar over there at third base for Katuit this season. As Brumbaugh's ahead in the count, 3 balls, no strikes. Brumbaugh's dad, Cliff, played collegiately at Delaware. A couple of major league appearances with the Rangers and the Rockies. And even Brumbaugh just graduating from Nebraska as well. His major was in management. Looking to manage this 3-1 count here with 1 gone. Fouls it down the first base side. Brumbaugh will most likely take over the spot in left field as well for Salinas, who went 0 for 2 in this ball game. Payoff pitch on the way. Spoils it.
Wonder if that is a top of the 9th inning where we finally see Jacob Schultz. Vanderbilt lefty's been warming up in the bullpen for I think 2 or 3 innings now. It's just because
been there quite a while.
Todd Carroll has been forced to leave Jake Dorn in this game. He's been tremendous.
How could he not? 4 scoreless innings in his Cape debut. Their payoff pitch. Foul back. Brumbaugh knew that was outside. Still decided to give it a poke at it. But you do have to give Harrison and Brumbaugh credit, Ryan. They have come off the bench. These have been long at bats. Shalagater throws another 3-2. Brumbaugh stays alive. That was pitch number 8 of the at-bat. 4 consecutive foul balls. That was after Brumbaugh started ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Well, the battle continues. Pitch number 9 from the southpaw. Brumbaugh up the middle, over the head of Randall, dunks in for a base hit. That is the kind of at-bat you're looking for off the bench to give a little bit of momentum for the Commodores. That gets the dugout going.
First hit for Falmouth since the leadoff man in the 7th, Carl Schmidt, reached and was stranded over there. Exactly right. Caden Brumbaugh comes off the bench cold, delivers a hit that the Commodores desperately needed, even if it doesn't amount to anything in this 8th inning. I feel like momentum's up for grabs with the last 4 complete innings being scoreless between these two teams. Now Falmouth gets on with a single.
Yeah, there's been a whole lot of zeros on that scoreboard. Just the 3 from the Gatemen back in the 3rd inning. Lefty on lefty with Justin Osterhaus. Another 0 for guy in this lineup. Hard line out to center field in the 3rd. That came off the bat at 97 for him on that line out, and then a backward strikeout in the 6th. Guy you'd love to have on base, 14 stolen bags. Brings that nice speed over there in the middle infield. He squares the bunt, breaking ball. He pulls it back. Kind of an awkward looking one. Sheehan going to stay even with the bag over at 3rd. Great spot from Schlageter on the outer 3rd for a called strike. Top of the lineup waiting on deck for the Commodores and Antonio Morales. Time running short. Just 5 more outs for the Commodores to play with. Breaking ball, Osterhaus puts it back to the screen. Two balls, 2 strikes to the 9-hitter in the Commodores lineup. Brumbaugh stands at first after that 9-pitch single. Middle infield ready to turn 2 for the Gatemen. Slider inside. It's run full once more.
That pitch up, going up quickly. Already the 20th pitch that we see out of the Louisville Cardinal and Schlageter.
Payoff on the way. Osterhaus pops it up left side of the infield. Sheehan just a hair in fair territory, now out. Either way, makes the catch.
To the top of the order for your Falmouth Commodores, the right fielder for Maryland, number 2, Antonio.
That's kind of been the MO this ball game, this inning for the Commodores. Long, good at bats, good contact, but nothing really to come out of it. Fourth time around for the Commodores, the lineup. Leading off with them, Antonio Morales. He is 1 for 3 in this ball game, and that first single for the Commodores back in the 4th after Butler retired the first 9. He skies it into short left field. Ramirez there, makes the play, and the Commodores' offensive struggles continue. To the 9th we go. Gatemen 3, Commodores nothing here on Cape League TV.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just 1 click away.
It's an honor to support the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store located at 147 T-Ticket Highway and try a slice today.
You'll always be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at Compass Real Estate.
Hi, I'm Jacob Schultz from Houston, Texas, and I'd like to give a special shout out to my mom.
Top 9 on a beautiful night for baseball here from Gulf Fuller Field, but the time running short for these Commodores. Trailing 3-0, and the guy to keep that at a 3-run deficit is Jacob Schultz, making his team-leading 11th appearance. The All-Star has been very impressive in his time here with the Commodores, a well-deserved All-Star nod. Doesn't walk a lot of guys. That leads to a low earned run against average at a 2.19.
Yeah, one of 3 Commodores arms that was honored with that All-Star nod a week ago this past Saturday at Red Wilson Field. He was the last pitcher utilized by the West Division, goes 2/3 of an inning scoreless. But the Vanderbilt Commodore and now Falmouth Commodore has been good so far in his Cape League tenure.
That comes off for kind of a scarce past season in Nashville after he missed his freshman season due to injury. Has come back, definitely proved himself to Tim Corbin and that coaching staff that he has deserved some more outings next spring.
Seems to be the theme with a lot of these Commodores' top performers. Think of what Antonio Morales can now bring to the University of Maryland. Schultz to Vanderbilt. Even a guy like Justin Osterhaus getting ready for his first spring in Tuscaloosa with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Good stats, and good performances on Cape Cod can really translate and impress college coaches.
Absolutely. A couple of defensive changes for the Commodores. Eddie Yaman is now catching, replacing Bear Harrison. And Caden Brumbaugh also remains in the game out in left field, replacing Tristan Salinas.
Yeah, I was looking into the Commodores' dugout, Andrew, with Bear Harrison coming to the plate. Did notice Chris Newstrom grab the sliding mitt, too. So you thought maybe that if Harrison got on, it'd be Newstrom to go in as a pinch runner. And then for Newstrom, you put Yaman in. Very tactical for Jared Saltamacchia. Of course, Harrison did not reach in the bottom of the 8th to make that possible.
Of course, it seemed like that was going to be the plan either way, even if Harrison got out like he did, where he's been busy behind home plate. Want to give those knees an extra day of rest and throw Yaman in the mix.
It makes it almost ironic that you were just putting the catcher in for the catcher.
Yes, basically. Brandon Randall, this being his 5th plate appearance of this ball game, and he corks one into center field. New drops in front of him. That is a leadoff single. Multi-hit effort for Braden Randall tonight after the double in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, I don't blame Mike Anu at all in center field for not sliding into that one. That was just a good piece of hitting by Braden Randall for his 2nd hit of this game. Mike Anu is shading towards left center field. Randall hits it towards right center field. And he's already had a couple balls get past him over these last couple games. So instead he keeps it in front of him to just a single for the Ole Miss second baseman.
It was that hit from Randall where he kind of met Morales in the middle and right center, accidentally kicked that ball further into the outfield. And allow Randall to stretch a 2-bagger into 3. Pop up here, Black goes flying. Yaman behind home plate. Doesn't make the catch. Turner lost his handle on the bat. Ends up to the ball kids on the Gatemen.
And 2 funky plays for guys who know both be right at the dish. And the hitter Turner and the catcher Yaman. First, it's another opposing batter just losing that bat and sending it into the netting. And then Yaman just overruns it, gets it lost in the Gulf Fuller Field lights, and doesn't realize it's behind him by the time it comes down.
So Turner gets a second life and another use of the pine tar as well.
I'm not going crazy. That first time the bat flew into the netting, that was also this game. Not Brewster yesterday, that was earlier today.
Yes, correct. You are not losing your mind.
Feels like one of those games, huh? Was that Vance Sheehan? I'm trying to think back to who that did that last.
Good spot there from Schultz. Doesn't get the call, though, from Merzel. Turner has reached on 2 errors, as well as a hit by pitch in the 6th. And An all-star this past summer for Wareham. Rolls it over foul. Get you an update on that Hyannis-Chatham game. The Anglers only in front by 1 now after 8 innings. As well as Katuitt and Bourne, tied at 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Games Commodores fans are definitely keeping their eyes on, with the Commodores only trailing a game back of a playoff spot to those Harbor Hawks. 2-2 count to Colby Turner. Spoils it back. Osterhaus and Lopez ready to turn 2 in the middle of the infield. Breaking ball. And yes, Turner went around for strike 3. And it's the first out of this inning. First strikeout for Jacob Schultz.
Yeah, it was West Division All-Star on West Division All-Star. And there it's Jacob Schultz getting the sword on the Michigan Wolverine, Colby Turner.
Now, you can't chop at it. It's not a sword. One on with a runner on first for Chris McHugh. Do you understand that reference? You got that one right. Don't chop at, it's not a sword.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I did.
Bench warmers?
Yes, now that I get it.
Okay,
I've seen bench warmers multiple times.
All right.
Just say, if you said the bus, I get that one.
Gus Bus, yeah.
Bus, yeah. Maybe eating sunscreen too. We're into the late
It's another
parts of
good
July.
one. It's another good one.
Great movie.
It is. You didn't even remember it, though. Off the end of the bat foul.
You are probably the MVP at remembering movie references and show references.
I do have reference brain.
Not to say that was a hard one.
No, but I have been told that I do have reference brain, and it's very much true.
We'll watch a movie one time, and you can remember every single word.
I wouldn't say every single word, but I can give you the iconic lines, if you will. That movie, Benchwarmers, was produced by Happy Madison Productions with Happy Gilmore 2 just coming out. Got to watch that last night. I know that will be a watch for you very soon. As Chris McHugh throwing the bat back, he's going to get back there as his at-bat is not over yet.
And McHugh just watched that pitch and thought it was going to be ball 4, put 2 on.
I'd say a solid film with Happy Gilmore 2.
You watched last night, correct?
Kind of just met the expectations, yes. You guys are out watching the Fantastic Four. I'm not a superhero movie guy, so decided to stay home, watch Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix. I mean,
you were looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those films that, like, you didn't want it to ruin the greatness and nostalgia of the first Happy Gilmore movie. I don't think it did. Had some good one-liners in there. A lot of great golfer cameos as well. I think Scotty Scheffler's cameo was by far the best.
Was Scheffler the most surprising cameo you saw? Or who's the most surprising celebrity cameo?
I
haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it is a
Kelsey
movie filled
Plum was a very strange cameo. That one kind of came out of nowhere. Swing and a miss. Yaman throws down. Cannot get Randall as he swipes another bag. That is his 3rd of the ball game. That's out number 2. Stephen A. Smith was also a pretty random cameo. Bad Bunny plays Happy's caddy.
Okay.
Yeah. Adam Sandler's daughter plays his His real-life daughter, I should say, plays his daughter in the movie.
Gotta love that, though.
Yeah.
We already talked about Charlie Saltzamacchia, one of the back kids being honored for Back Kid Appreciation Day. Youngest daughter of Commodores manager Jerry Saltzamacchia. Sandler doing something similar.
Sandler's got 2 daughters. Saltzamacchia's got 4 daughters. Nice looking breaking ball from Schultz. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Caden McDonald. No relation to Norm McDonald, who plays Shooter McGavin.
Here you go. Everything going to tie back from the final inning and 1 out in the top of the 9th.
Always comes back to Happy Gilmore. Always does. Yaman asking for another sign from Schultz. They look to agree on 1 now before the 1-2. Here it is. Just pops in and out of the glove of Yaman, and McDonald stays alive.
The SEC battery pairing here between Schultz and Yaman. Yaman just won the 2025 College World Series Championship with LSU, although it was redshirting during this great year for the Tigers.
Still get that ring either way. Breaking ball inside, and another stolen base for Braden Randall. He's got 4 of them.
And same thing with Devin Sheeran, the right-hander who has yet to face a batter in Baton Rouge, but redshirted this year. We got to talk to him after LSU won that natty.
That same day as well. Swing and a miss from Schultz. And that does it for the top of the 9th inning. All 3 outs in this inning come via the strikeout for Schultz. Commodores trail by 3 as we go to the bottom of the 9th here from Gov Fuller Field. One last chance for Falmouth.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just 1 click away.
It's an honor to support the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store located at 147 T-Ticket Highway and try a slice today.
You'll always be safe at home with the Diana Lucevero Group at Compass Real Estate.
I'm Ben Royo, shortstop from Texas A&M, and you're watching Commodores Baseball on Cape League TV.
A reminder that this broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. We roll on to the bottom of the 9th. The Gatemen leading 3-0 over the Commodores. And the guy to slam the door in the bottom of the 9th is one of the nation's best closers in the rising senior from Arizona, Tony Paluda. He's just made 1 appearance here on Cape Cod, but was absolutely phenomenal this past year as a junior for the Wildcats. The single-season record in program history for 14 saves at a 1.46 ERA. He made 30 appearances, Ryan. Didn't allow a single run in 27 of them.
Yep.
I don't know what else you could ask from a closer.
How about also Cape League experience, too? He had 11 appearances with the same Gatemen team in 2024, just to a 2.33 ERA. It has been great so far at Wareham, at Arizona with that sub-1.5 ERA that you mentioned. Now he looks to slam the door here. You started off with an Arizona State Sun Devil, and Josh Butler, who goes 6 scoreless innings, allowing just 1 hit, no runs. You go from the Arizona State starter to the Arizona closer in Pluto.
And that Stopper of the Year award we talked about earlier with Torin O'Hara, he was on the watch list. Pluto won the actual award for that one. So he was very impressive this past spring. Carl Schmidt to lead things off for the Commodores in the bottom of the 9th.
This one's starting to feel eerily similar to last night against Brewster. You bring in an opposing team, they do their damage in the middle innings, and all of a sudden you have a 3-run hole in the bottom of the 9th. Falmouth couldn't plate a single run with the situation given there. Now we'll try to make up for it here.
Schmidt pops it up first base side. Easy play for Chris McHugh. And that is out number 1. And it's been a frustrating night offensively for these Commodores. But you really have to give it to these Wareham pitchers that have held this team in check. Here's a reason why the Gatemen have won 11 of their last 14. It's because of pitching performances like this one. Their ERA was towards the bottom of the half in the earlier parts of July. It's jumped up to the halfway point. So that kind of tells the story of how good the Gatemen have been over this last month. Mike Anu trying to break an 0-for-3 night. Batting gloves back on after some good contact in the 7th with the line out to right field. Nothing at 2. It's even more impressive too, Ryan, for Pluta, is he had this tremendous batting average against 219. The whip is well below 1. Gave the numbers earlier. He also had a 3.91 GPA in aerospace engineering.
You had an aerospace engineering major in Pluta on Wareham, and then you had this story yesterday with Grant Meert, Johns Hopkins Blue Jay, molecular and cellular biology,
yeah,
I remember.
That is a tough major. Check swing down to first. Knew did not go around. Perfect 4.0 though.
Say, not only that.
For Meert.
It was interesting with Ben Haller in the booth with I yesterday. You're doing that sideline hit. Great piece on Grant Meert. We struggled to remember the name of the major. Not only...
Are you serious?
We were sitting with Ben, and he couldn't remember what it was called. I said, I'm pretty sure it was molecular and cellular biology. That is a mouthful, but not nearly as hard as holding a 4.0 GPA at that major at one of the hardest academic schools in the country, with Johns Hopkins.
I think you guys also asked what that major was.
Yes. And I said it was probably molecules and cells.
That sounds about right.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Always impressive when athletes can get it done on their field of play and in the classroom.
Of course. Full count to Mike Anu, especially too for Grant to do at Johns Hopkins, which is probably one of the most prestigious schools in the United States.
Not a big fan of their men's lacrosse program, going to the University of Maryland myself.
Yeah, I know
that's the rivalry, but
it's a good rivalry though.
It's great.
Was the most recent one in Baltimore this year? No, it was in College Park.
Park, won by the Terps.
Inside, ball 4 for Mike Anu. And that was also on a random like Wednesday or Thursday night, wasn't it?
I think it was a Friday night.
Friday night?
Friday night, if I recall right. You talk about the spring season, right? You got no huge men's basketball games, no big football games. Obviously baseball on the schedule, but nothing gets that same amount of juice. In College Park, you'll see fans show out and get ready for the rivalry against Johns Hopkins.
Yep. We were both there at Gillette for the Final Four of the Men's Lacrosse Championship. Syracuse and Maryland, of course, very prominent in the field of lax.
One of our respective universities played on that championship Monday, though. I don't remember which one it is.
I don't remember who it was.
I believe it was Maryland, though, and not Syracuse.
It was the Terps that played on championship Monday. Hey, they lost that game,
I was going to say, you can't talk too much when
so,
C.J. Kurz puts some 6 goals in the
Big Red that got the job done in that one. Called strike in the inner third to Kent Schmidt. Mike Anu stands out first after that one-out walk. Commodores looking to just get rid of the shutout.
Versus starts 4 through 9 in the Commodores' order, which so far today is 1 for 14. And that one hit being off the bench by Caden Brumbaugh in place of Tristan Salinas.
Yeah, it has been an off night for the middle of this lineup that has kind of carried them through the middle part of the season offensively. Schmidt pops it up. McHugh calls everyone off and holds it in with 2 hands. Safe and secure for that second out.
The third baseman from Georgia Tech, number 35, Ryan Zuckerman.
Last chance for the Commodores comes with Ryan Zuckerman. 2 outs with a runner on first.
Again, if you're Falmouth, just need base runners. Don't worry about the double play anymore. Just find a way to get on, and Zuckerman has done that so far by being a mid-season acquisition.
He has been one of those better mid-season guys, I would say. 0 for 2 today. Drops that 342 average down just a hair to 325, but trying to keep on pace with a 4-game hit streak. Doesn't want to break that. Breaking ball swings right through it. And the Commodores are down to their final strike in this one. McHugh not even worrying about New, holding him on at first. Gluda agrees on a sign with Rivera and then steps off. Zuckerman thought that one was a little bit late. Asked for the new sign. Winds and throws the 0-2. Breaking ball, a called strike 3, and that one ought to do it. Falmouth shut out by the Wareham Gatemen 3-0 tonight as the Commodores dropped their 4th straight and dropped to 6 games under 500 in the playoff race. As we get closer to the regular season, Commodores still struggling to grasp on to that final playoff spot after a 3-0 loss tonight to the Gatemen.
Yeah, just the second time this season that the Falmouth Commodores haven't been shut out. We're in Game 3 of this season, a 6-0 win for the Harwich Mariners right here at Gov Fuller Field. This was tough to swallow for a Falmouth team that did have 3 hits. Those 3 errors proved to be so costly. Andrew, especially the back-to-back errors in the top of the 3rd inning, where Wareham scores the only 3 runs in this game. It's also the second straight night in which the Commodores go into the bottom of the 9th at home, down 3 runs, and can't muster a single score. It's hard to swallow right now with 7 games to go in the Cape League season.
Starts to become more of a scoreboard watch as Chatham leads Hyannis 5-4 into the bottom of the 9th. We'll join the 3rd member of our crew, Ben Haller. Ben, we kind of mentioned the offensive struggles tonight as the big catalyst. Was it more so Josh Butler kind of hitting his spots in the defense, or the Commodores just kind of not doing enough offensively, you feel?
Butler's been great, nothing to take away from him, and obviously we've talked about the story second time the same pitcher has against the same lineup. They've struggled. That was not the case for Butler today. But look, guys, you can talk about the offensive struggles, you can talk about the errors all you want. It's been the same story for the last few games. Biggest thing to take away is the Commodores are just running out of time. Keep in mind, Harbor Hawks losing right now, but even if they do lose, still 2 points behind them. That's 1 game. But the Harbor Hawks do have that tiebreaker because of the head-to-head. So again, it kind of feels more like 2 games and an extra point or 2 when you throw in the tiebreaker. That's why the time's really running short for Falmouth.
Yeah, Ben, it's scoreboard watching right now. You're exactly right with that game at McKeon Park for Hyannis. When you take a look at the pitching success, though, in this game, it really becomes more of a factor elsewhere. Where are you seeing that the Commodores need to improve starting at Orleans tomorrow?
Yeah, the pitching was great overall, and again, it's just kind of been that whack-a-mole where one problem gets fixed for Falmouth, the other, another problem arises. The starting pitching, though, again, has been that issue, especially with a lot of new guys coming in, and Torrin O'Haron gave up the 3 runs in the 2 innings, but still the bullpen able to kind of battle back and actually have a really nice night, only give up 3 runs. Kind of another game where it feels like story of 2 different halves of the game from the first to last game. That's exactly what we saw last night at Bourne. None of that matters if the offense can't score runs or get more than 3 hits.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ben. Commodores lose this one 3-0 to the Gatemen. As we do look at that road ahead for the Commodores. Another one tomorrow before the off day on Monday against Orleans. Again, Ben, thank you so much for joining us tonight as the third member of our crew. Commodores will be in Orleans tomorrow. That's a 6:30 start. We'll be on the airwaves at 6:20. But again, even an out-of-division game, Ryan, there is not a whole lot of time left for Falmouth.
It's running quietly, and this is becoming eerily similar of the 2024 Commodores team that we saw a summer ago. Again, the basement of the West Division. You just got to be in the top 4 to the 5 teams in your respective division to make the playoffs, and it doesn't feel that long ago, Andrew, that we were talking about Falmouth being in the first place in the West Division. It changes quickly in what Jared Saltamacchia called the tightest division race he's seen through his 1 year at Falmouth and 3 years at Bourne. So this one's getting tight. Again, I think you can't undersell these games against the East Division. It's still 2 big points that you could win. And for Falmouth, the team that's lost 4 straight games now, it starts at Eldridge Park tomorrow.
Yeah, got to find something, dig deep as we get towards the postseason with game 34 on deck tomorrow in Eldridge. Again, that one a 6:30 start. We will be on the airwaves at 6:20 for a fun ball game, hopefully, between the Firebirds and the Commodores. They won the last time there at Eldridge.
That was a fun game.
14 runs, hoping to match that and maybe even more tomorrow night from Orleans. But for our entire crew here at Gov Fuller Field tonight, third member of our crew, Ben Haller, our producer, Dan Papillo, our director, Kyle Klima, and my partner, Ryan Martin. I'm Andrew Del Piana saying so long from the Gov. We'll talk to you tomorrow night from Eldridge.